So they can see us, they can hear us, so I guess technically that means we are alive. Hold on. Yeah, I'm still feeling pain, I'm still alive. The dead don't feel pain. Hi! Our garden today, I see our viewers immediately dropped off, that's fine.
That
Uh,
possible.
huh?
That shouldn't be possible. I just joined the stream.
Well, I saw we were at 2 viewers and now we're at 1 viewer. But it's fine. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the game. Today's background music is provided by Tabletop Audio. Z and I had a pretty rough day yesterday, so please forgive us if I'm sounding a little rough. Apparently, my state is just 98% pollen now.
'Tis the season.
Yes. Yes, it is a season. Let's see here, going over a quick couple things. We had our final episode of Second Sight Agency and our campaign wrap for that campaign. So Second Sight Agency is officially over. The players have told the story that they were going to tell. You may see them pop up occasionally every now and then, but yeah, that's it. We're moving forward with Briar Garden as our primary campaign as of today. This is going to be a bit of a shift in tone for me because I've been bouncing between 2 campaigns, and now I have all this energy to focus on a single campaign.
We gonna die.
It's going to get
Boned.
weird, people. Today I'm joined by all my lovely members of the bonus cast, and let's start with, you know what? Pretend Ginger, go ahead and introduce us to Zeprina. And if I said the name wrong, I'm sorry. I am suffering horribly.
That's fine. Yeah, so Severina the Red is a female satyr fighter, Eldridge fighter, and our Eldridge Knight fighter. She's very tall, especially compared to the rest of this group, standing at 5'11", 185. She's young, she's 25, and she's just here to have a good time. And if she has to do some fighting, even better.
All right, let's see here now. Zizva, why don't you start us? Oh, wait, no, you're not starting us. You're following up. Continuing. I'm here. Hello. Hold on. I need to take medicine.
So the fairy that goes by Kala is kind of in the new to the world and material plane vibe. So exploring, learning your boundaries. She's one of the small crew. Most of our crew is the small crew. Bright blue hair and kind of looking to do a concert tonight.
One, two, three. Mike.
I'm gonna be going by Mess today. I play the tailor known as Vincer Goldenseal. He is a fantastic monk bard build, and is of the small crew. Probably not the smallest, but maybe close. The only thing, I don't know, he's a small stature with a very, very bright and ostentatious clothing choice, and he's out to clothe the world, make garments.
All right.
It's a
Eeny,
good,
meeny, miny, mo. Pick a tiger by it. So if it hollers, Tux, tell us about Bert.
Hi everybody, I'm Tux. I play Bert, the Paquin rogue, soul knife, and yeah.
All right. For those of you who are not aware, Paquin is a homebrew race of quadrupedals, telepathic, psychic cats. All right, and as our final player, Meryl, tell us about Fragile Heart. Buttons.
Buttons is a bunny. And I'm Merle. The Lady Buttons van Ambergalden is a Harangon artificer, specifically an armorer artificer. And she is looking to make a name for herself and to show her family that her style can be just as much of a service to the queendom as anything else her family has provided. She's a little bit of a black sheep, despite being a bunny.
Okay, so where we last left off, let's see here now. New people had come to Port Glassbreaker on a unusual, if not specific, quest to locate 200 pounds of salt. This quest has brought Zaprina into the intersection of Kala, Bert, Buttons, and Vesner? No, hold on.
Venser.
Venser.
Like a fencer.
Venser. Venser. As all Lord, 5. Why do I have 5 players? All 5 of them end up waiting for the return of the erstwhile ship known as the Storm Cloud. In a typically Kala move, a garment fitting has been arranged. Buttons is interviewing for a spot to use a workshop. Bert is kind of skulking about, and Zephrina has. It's where I'm going to eventually pronounce someone's name correctly today.
I'm pretty sure you got Buttons right.
Did I? Zeprina met and received a house key from a expatriate from the Castra Empire. And so we resume with, hold on, flipping coin. Kala and the rest of the group in Espelise. I forgot my word because English is hard. Espelise Silks and Fine Goods, where she had just undergone a hat fitting and design process. It is about mid-afternoon, and I can't think of anything else to word at y'all, so start talking.
Well, I'm gonna go get that seed thing so we can and incorporate it. But you're probably about done for the day almost.
I mean, So the thing with design is that sometimes your customers come in late in the afternoon and you have to work a little bit later. So I'm kind of at Chandra's call here.
You know, I've noticed Bert also stays awake really late sometimes. So maybe that would be good for whenever he gets a cloak. Like, sometimes he's just up at odd hours of the night. He's been staying with us.
What does he do with these odd hours?
I don't know, he's mostly just hanging by the fireplace. But hey, Bert,
Freezing. Yes.
why do you have such a weird sleep schedule and you're up at night a lot?
Why do you have such a weird sleep schedule and are up in the early hours of the morning?
To water before it gets hot?
Just do that at like 4 a.m.
But I'm asleep then.
Yeah, why?
Well, it sounds like maybe if there was a need to keep watch that Bert has a niche carved out for himself and the group maybe.
Oh yeah, we had to do that when there were spider wolves.
Spider wolves?
Yeah, Maybe we should have tried to keep one of the bristle legs or something. Maybe like it could have been a cane for someone. If we ever go back, hey Buttons, if we ever go back to the Feywild, remind me to bring one of those spider wolf legs.
If we ever go back to the Feywild, kindly shoot me.
Kala looks at her crossbow and then at Buttons and then like, oh yeah, jokes and giggles.
Only barely.
So, do you aim for the leg to kindly shoot someone?
Yes, what does that look like?
It makes a little bit more sense in context.
Do you want us to, like, cut your Achilles so you have to stay there? Is that what you're saying?
I believe you know full well that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, so you've got your workshop worked out now, right?
Please refresh the player's memory because I do not remember. Did she work that out?
Gear nose mute.
Sorry, I was muted so y'all couldn't hear me go sniffle, 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 because... Wait, did
Oh,
I
no,
already
you're
do, like,
biological.
this state is mostly pollen joke? Anyway, Esplee is setting up, or is going to have set up, a workstation for you tomorrow.
So one down, one to go. Just gotta find you and Bert some housing later.
Right. At least that is hopefully not going to be too much of a problem. And, well, we still don't know what's going on with the ship. Do hope it's all right.
Oh yeah, ships.
Yeah.
That's something for y'all to figure out.
And with that, Zaprina, you have been given, for the most part, the run of what's his name?
Kristen.
Kristen, yes,
I
thank
think
you.
you said Kristen. Yeah.
Kristen's first floor apartment house.
Yeah.
It is.
And
oh, go ahead.
oh no, if you were gonna give more context, feel free.
It is rather Spartan in its adornment, with the exception of a few scattered horse figurines and a few snake images throughout the place.
Are any of the kind of figurines like, are they mounted onto wherever they sit, or could I like pick them up to investigate or look for?
None of them are particularly affixed to anything. Some of them are quite large and heavy looking, though.
Okay. So, and you said it's like a theme, right? The horse and the serpent is kind of the symbolism, or the statues are like all over the place, or integrated.
There's at least one in every room. And they are fairly consistently paired together.
Okay. She's definitely, it's a curious decoration. If she's able to notice that there seems to be like one in every room as she kind of like walks through the area, I'd like to just go up to one of them and see if there's any other like symbols or identifying marks on them, because she does not know what this is, so she's kind of curious.
Make an investigation check.
Investigation. 14.
14. So approaching the most easiest to manipulate one is the one that's in the central room. It is a maybe 1.5 foot tall from base to mane on the horse. And it depicts a horse rearing up with a snake entwined around it from its lower leg all the way up to its neck. Rolled a 12, you said? It's
14.
14, sorry. It is made of cast bronze. Taking and looking over, there's no real information that you can glean from it other than you locate a maker's mark at the underside of it, which also incorporates a similar logo to the sculpture itself. Make a history roll for me.
Yeah, 7.
Okay. I mean, you've seen it occasionally in Port Glassbreaker as you were wandering around, but not to this level of prominence. The horse and serpent.
Okay.
I can have a
like,
drink. I'll be right back.
sure. Glancing around, actually, would she be able to do something to determine if they're magical in any way? Like, since they seem to always have one in every room, like, to
Make an
determine are they...
Arcana check for me.
Okay. 12 plus 15.
15. You are not bad at magic. There's definitely a kind of but there doesn't seem to be a religious aspect to it either. There's no shrine or anything like that. And looking over the things, you don't see any ritual in the form of incense or magical focusing runes that have been placed around them.
Okay. Well, if she'll make sure she puts it exactly where she found it, and kind of just something to maybe ask or discuss with the group.
Okay.
It seems like this is a fairly important. If she's seen it not only in every room of this particular person's house, but his cat time, it must have a significant meaning or be prominent in some way. Whether it's good or bad, who knows? But so she'll just make note of that. And she's, at this point, would be fairly bored, and so she'd be looking to, she remembers hearing about, like, a place to gamble and to basically, like, fight, and so she's kind of curious to go walk around the town and see what else is out there.
Heading into
So
Go ahead.
So since she still has some time to kill before she's got to meet back up with everybody at the tavern.
All right.
Let's
see here. Heading back into town, for the most part, as you approach like the center 2 streets where most of the buildings are arrayed, you find with relative ease the 2 places that were mentioned to you before, the gambling den known as the Emerald Chalice and the fighting pit known as the Victory Garden are both in what would charitably call the Entertainment District, across the way from the Feather Touch Bathhouse and the Healthstone Apothecary, a place that has like the Healer's Guild emblem on it.
Where did you say the fighting thing was called?
The Victory Garden. It is
Victory Garden.
Sunken section about maybe 20 feet across, lined with sand with a wooden banister around it to separate it from the main area, with a kind of overhang and a number of seats arrayed around the back side of it, as well as a few empty stalls that one could assume would be set up with vendors for either food, drink, or bookmaking, or book taking, sorry.
Okay. And at this time of the day, I assume there's not really much going on in there.
There is like a kind of tired looking dwarf that has one of those sand rakes, and he is just kind of smoothing out the sand in the pit.
Okay. Not seeing anything particularly interesting, she does. She is interested in the bathhouse, and that sounds like a good place to go and hang out.
Okay.
So.
As you enter the bathhouse, you catch a strong scent of honey and lemon um, coming from the back of the area. This largish structure is composed of two parts, with the front area being a smallish waiting room and a significantly larger back half blocked off by a doorway with a bead studded curtain hanging over the entryway. A kind of blue skinned woman with just slightly larger than average eyes smiles at you as you enter, and she's like, "Welcome, the Feather Touch Bathhouse. Are you scheduled, or is this a walk-in?"
This would be a walk-in.
Well, uh, are you just looking to bathe or soak, or do you need a treatment?
Do you have like I assume like a package of some kind? It smells amazing in here.
Ah, yes. Keep incense. It is very soothing, I find. And the lemon scent helps people open up. We have a couple different packages: skincare routines, grooming. Uh, Wish. She kind of tilts her head a little to, take in the fullness of your figure. It's like, we do not have a fair, but we have worked with Cloven who spoke before. We don't get a lot of wilders in here, but take care of whatever you would like to have taken care of.
And how much would your services cost?
For the bath, it is 5 copper. Additional treatments are additional costs.
Let's start with the bath. I'll take you up on that, and she'll give her the 5 copper.
Most certainly. She takes the copper, counts it, and puts it in the thing. Through the curtain, take the first left, and that will take you to the public baths.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Does she notice any of the like horse and serpent like insignia at all in this place?
No.
She's
nothing.
basically trying to determine like, is this person kind of like running the entertainment / debauchery / like
No,
area
you
of
don't
town?
see. Make a perception. Actually, no, your perception would be high enough to. You don't see any of that paraphernalia of the horse and serpent, but you do see in like the back corner of the main entryway a small little kind of. You're not quite sure what breed of bird it is, but it's a small little sparrow-like creature with kind of vibrant blue feathers that is just kind of sitting there and chilling, watching you.
Well, Cornelius has been he's been out already, so I guess he would be traveling with me. And so it doesn't seem like it's nervous around my horned owl at all.
No, it's just kind of watching you from the
Okay.
corner of the area. I am missed, and if you, and she will hold open the curtain for you. If you need anything, I will come by in a few minutes to check on you. Just let me know then, okay?
Sounds great. And she'll go ahead and disrobe and enter the bath.
All right. The public bath is quite literally public bath. There is about maybe 6 other people that are just kind of soaking, scrubbing in the water, or drying off at the edge of the bath. No one seems particularly shy, though you do catch a few people like, "Oh, there's a wilder," looking over at you for a moment just to like, "Oh, okay, that's cool," before going back to their personal business. After a few moments, you see the woman who identified herself as Mist come in behind you and start gathering up some towels. This whole place has a very strong lemon and honey scent, and you can identify where it's coming from by the brazier at either end of the uh, large pool of water that is emitting a kind of almost translucent smoke.
Interesting. Would there be? Well, I guess I'll ask her where she sources her honey from, given where Zephyrina is from, they potentially be sourcing it from her hometown or enclave.
Oh, the the incense is from my homeland of where is she from? From Rovan. It is a proprietary blend. It comes in on a ship with expatriates periodic.
Would you? Would this be the ship that our group's been waiting for? One called the Storm Cloud. Would that also be bringing that type of product?
She blinks a few times and thinks, I mean, I don't have a specific contract with any merchants. It's just dealings between the Empire and the Queendom are turns. And so, just whenever someone comes into town with any gifts, any goods from across the sea, I try and just get a little taste of home.
Gotcha. I gotcha. And then it suddenly occurs to Zephyrina that she's sitting in a bathhouse and she's curious, and we'll ask her, do they use salts in their establishment for any of their treatments?
We have a salt scrub process, yes. We heavily salt the water, and then we will take a rough sponge, and she kind of steps out of the room for a second, comes back with like a heavy natural sponge. Um, we we mix the salt in the water with a little jasmine and lavender oil. We dip the rough sponge in, and then we just give a good scrubbing. It is really helps with the skin, especially if you've been out working at the sea or in the farm area or even just traveling, and gets all the dirt and stuff out of the port stuff.
Well, that sounds marvelous. Do you guys buy it in bulk by chance?
Yes. We kind of have to. It's one of our more popular ones, especially with uh, travelers coming in off of the long road.
Well, I would definitely be interested in the service, but also, how much would you say you had stored up? I'm in the market to salt, and that seems fine.
Oh. Well, I can go and try and do an accounting if you want to. You notice that, like, she is very much, like, does not mind the fact that you are undressed or even seems to acknowledge it. Or any of the other folks while she's talking with you. So if you give me a few moments, I will go and see how much we have and how much we can spare. There's been a delay in shipping, especially from Ravan and the other ports of call that are nearby due to rumors. I can't guarantee it for sure, but we have been hearing rumors of a large turtle-like creature that has been waylaying ships.
Oh,
And she shrugs.
that sounds very serious.
Well, it may just be sailors being drunk for all I know. But you hear things occasionally. People come and talk, or they like to talk while being given full body scrubs. Anyway, I'm going to go and count our bags of salt and see how much I can spare. Thank you.
That'd be great.
Enjoy your soak. Oh, right. And she kind of remembers something, goes over to like a little cache in one of the walls and pulls out two little kind of maybe about 3.5-inch long tubes of a kind of semi-clear liquid. that has like a little pink tinge to it and hands them both to you. Since you have how do I put this? A profusion of fur. This will help with the soaking process.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem. Back in a tick. And with that, what has the other group been up to?
Sewing buttons on clothes, and to specify buttons, the material, not buttons, the character.
Ah, my hand! Why? Why?
So,
No, we're not doing PvP, we decided.
No
Uh,
PvP allowed. Yes.
so Buns, it seems like Vesner was implying that you've got to go talk to the people to find a place.
Well, I was saying that you can sometimes find a room by inquiring in the places around. So I'm offering to take you to the place where I'm staying. They had a room. I don't know if they have more than one room. We could ask Chandra. She's here. Maybe she knows something as well about a place for rent. Um, she's closest, I guess. And
Suppose
then
it can't hurt.
And then in the pause, Spencer just like goes and Chandra.
One moment, dear. She kind of, after a few moments, comes out from the back area holding like a small deck of cards and kind of just working them between her hands. So, yes, I was taking a short break. Is there anything wrong?
Oh no, nothing wrong. Do you happen to know if um of any rooms being available for rent? Um, uh, Lady Buttons, in addition to a workshop, needs a place to stay. And really, she shouldn't be in the flop house.
She kind of takes a moment and fiddles with her deck of cards while she's thinking. I'm not quite sure. I don't spend a lot of time dealing with transients. No offense,
Sure, sure.
but
Transients.
those with it's not meant to be. I promise. If I wanted to offend you or insult you, I would say far worse.
It's
Uh,
true.
anyway, honestly, it's not really something I've ever had to worry about. I tend to, uh, or I tend to keep to my own means. If I guess it would be, I don't have a spare room. Or that. Your best bet may be to check with someone who deals more often with travelers. A barkeep, or one of the barkeeps of the Cloud, I think it was called, or one of the Porter Logician's Guild, possibly be able to put you in the correct direction.
Uh, Perfectly reasonable. So then Spencer just kind of gestures to Buttons. Choice?
So I actually couldn't hear that last word.
Where would you like to try?
Oh, the cloud does sound like a lovely place. That was the last one that you said?
She had suggested the Porters or Logicians Guild or the Cloud, which
Yeah.
you take to mean probably she's referring to the Queen's Cloud Tavern.
I mean, yes, taverns do, they rent out and put up travelers and such, I suppose, yes? That, is that is a tavern thing?
They didn't really look like they had accommodations there. I think, but they probably talked to a lot of people. Like way more than I just talked to, like handing flowers, and I didn't think to ask anyone when I handed him a flower. So I'll go get the really cool pine cone for the hat. I was thinking we can take the pine cone pieces and instead of like grinding them for a band, we can arrange them like a little flower, like they're petals, because
Oh,
they're
that's
curved,
very nice.
and point to them. So
Yes.
I don't like to be in the middle of business dealings for people's business buttons. So I'll meet you right after you talk to people on that. I'll bring the pine cone and get the seeds out, and then I'll meet y'all.
I need to be right back 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
See here now.
But I will keep an eye out for Frecky. She may be able to help you with that cloak that you were inquiring about. Um, also, I I I I see that you have this harness around you. Um, uh, what's is it fashion or function?
A little bit of both, unfortunately, because of my unusual anatomy compared to most others. Either getting unique tailoring is very expensive, so sometimes you have to DIY it a bit yourself.
Sure, sure, understandable. But hey, now you know people, and you even work at a place.
Exactly. Moving up in the world.
Cause you were gonna talk to his coworker. That was about your armor, right? To get an armor upgrade.
Um, Out of character, I didn't realize I had already bought studded leather, and we'd already done all that in downtime. So
Okay.
actually,
Never
sorry.
mind then.
Also, so because of my background as sailor slash pirate, I'm good at knots, right? Because I thought that was a thing, but
I mean, you're not inexperienced. What's your dexterity? What's your sleight of hand?
+6,
What's your intelligence modifier?
+3.
Yeah, you're decent at knots.
Okay. Sorry,
Not like
I thought that was a thing, but I'm rereading the stuff and I don't know. Weird. Anyways, but yeah, so he's like using his mouth to put the needle in and then like his psychic ability to bring it around. It's probably very interesting
it's
to
one
look
of
how he combines
those.
his own anatomy with his psychic ability to so
There's definitely a process to it by which Bert seems to be rather adept, not necessarily as a master at sewing or designing clothes, but at the very least of handling the stitch work.
We've lost Zephrina
Oh,
or Ginger. Her system rebooted.
oh, okay. Thank you for the
don't you
heads
love
up.
Windows?
Oh, I had not
Technical
fixed the background on that one.
difficulties.
Yeah, here at 98% CPU, we decided you wanted to update right now, right? Shutting down. What?
Yeesh.
Espily kind of like smiles at the group of y'all for a little bit while y'all discuss before she backs away and turns back to return to whatever she was doing in the back. Welcome back. Can you hear me okay?
She's on mute.
Hmm.
But Kala's plan was just to go get that and kind of pack up her stuff from the house a little bit so she has it with her and then meet them back once I talk to the
Okay.
innkeeper, to
Uh,
the tavern keeper.
Bree is not to be found at the house. Also, the pies are missing.
Okay.
Wasn't me. I was here the whole time.
She doesn't have a really good idea of conventions, but she kind of thinks, opening the chest to get the pine cone out with there being a heart in it might be disturbing at a shop. So just taking care of that at the house and then coming back.
Okay. You notice that the pine cone, the color has dulled a little on it.
In the chest of preservation?
Oh, yes. Because this is not a form of rot or something like that. But the color has dulled a little bit. The edges of it have started to kind of harden slightly as well, where before they were kind of not quite spongy, but rubbery.
Okay. She's gonna remove the seeds and stuff and then
Okay.
package that.
They come off with no problem, leaving you the core of the pine cone as well as a considerable number of little seed pods. Hello and welcome back.
Thank you. Blue screen of death reboot. So
Always fun.
luckily the
fun.
computer came back on. Yeah.
Okay. Kala, you have a handful of seeds. Bert, you have a mouthful of needles. Buttons, you're watching Bert. You good? Buttons, you're watching Bert sew.
Sorry, some tea went down the wrong way.
Oof.
Sorry.
That's a little rough.
I was going to say, is his sewing that bad?
I don't believe so.
I'm assuming I'm going to meet them later at the tavern, so that's where I'll go after I'm done getting the seeds. I know time-wise it'll take a little while to catch up.
All right.
So Bert's sewing with his telekinesis, I presume.
At least half,
Kind
yes.
of a combination where he's putting the needle in on his side with his teeth, like mouth, and then using the telekinesis to go through it. You can kind of tell that he's definitely done sewing before.
The telekinesis is really less I can manipulate anything within my mind's reach, as more like weight negation and buoyancy.
Fascinating. There aren't that many Hawkeen where I grew up. I mean, I've seen a few about, but nowhere up close, you know.
Yeah, when you grow up poor, you have to learn how to mend your own clothing.
Oh, that must have been terrible for you.
There's worse. There's definitely better. But hopefully we're getting better, right?
Right. A little bit. Excuse me. A little bit better every day, indeed.
Vincer, as you're kind of just vibing with them while watching Bert do some actually fairly decent stitch work. I mean, he clearly has. He's proficient if he is not masterful. He could probably handle a basic stitch up job if you set him to it. You hear from the front of the shop a familiar, if not loud, voice of why is my brain shutting off like this every time? A familiar voice, Freaky. Okay, I'm here. Look, I'm fine. I just need to get a little stuff, and like she's talking with Boken? No.
Bonrun.
Bonrun, that's it. Bonrun up at the front is like, I'm fine, Bon. I'm fine. I just need a little bit away from some people. We can got dumb.
Is everything all right?
I think everything will be fine. Excuse me 1 second, and Benzer kind of scampers off to go meet Frecky.
She is, to describe it in nice terms, she's definitely dressed for someone who is going to be going out into the wild for a bit. Hardy, thick clothing with heavy stitching. She has a spear kind of resting in a cradle at her hip, so that the point is just maybe a half inch above the ground as she walks, with the half turned up in front of her. He can take care of whatever. I left plenty of cut pieces. It's just a matter of following the patterns. She kind of nods to you as you approach. It's like, oh, yeah, great. Got fancy leather or fur, hide, whatever. I'm going to go out and find something worth sewing together. Anyway, could you cover my tabletop, the place with all the whatever she calls it. Anyway.
Yes, I can man your station.
Oh
if
no,
it,
you don't have to man it. Just literally cover it. Put like a sheet or something over it so none of it
Sure.
goes missing or gets like knocked over.
You know, with some people here, you know, they tend to do what they want.
Yeah, I mean, I figure out of sight, out of mind, right?
I saw earlier you Zaza doing Zaza things and you being upset. You're not going to poke her with that spear, are you?
No, I'm going to take a short trip to the south. I hear there is some really impressive caimans down there, and
Ooh.
I am going to get some leather that will make griffin hide fur seem like small potatoes. And that is what I'm going to do. She kind of frustratedly taps one of her hooves with like a little kick on the floor. Yes, that is what I'm going to do.
I wish you luck. Please come out with something even better than what she has. She needs to be taken down a peg or 3.
At least. Anyway, Bon, and the Lux, yeah. So, I'm going to come back. Do not let my station be rented. I am just going on vacation. Bon was okay, I can do that. No, you don't have to do
Spear
anything.
may not be the best use for that. You probably want to use a blunt weapon. That way, the skin will be intact. If you use a spear, it'll ruin the skin. If you're looking for leather.
Excuse me. And she kind of just turns and heads out the door. As you see her heading out the door, there you hear like a clatter of wood on the ground before she storms off.
She is quite spirited. So don't take. I'm sure she took your advice in good stride. But she's kind of been shaken up a bit lately, and maybe maybe this is good. This is good for her. Maybe we don't kill our coworkers this way. Maybe.
Zaprina, after about maybe
Artists.
Zaprina, after
Then-
about maybe 10 minutes, the blue-skinned woman comes back. It's like, hello, sorry, that took a little bit longer than I thought it would. Forgive me. I hope you've enjoyed your bath.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have about 10 pounds of salt that we can let go. Is that okay? It's scented already. I mean, we mixed it in oils and then set it into bricks, but
Thank you so much for checking. Unfortunately, I'm looking for a much larger quantity than that, and it sounds like I would,
she
probably wouldn't be worth taking it from you.
She looks a little taken aback because of the amount of space that, like, the 10 pounds that she has been dealing with. Well, that is, I, I wish you the best of luck. We generally purchase our salt directly from the Porter and Logicians Guild, or from the General Goods, if you don't mind talking to Averick.
Was it Averick? I thought it was Johan that was in the.
No, Jahan.
Was it
Jahan runs the Porter and
Jahan?
Logicians Guild. Averick
Oh, okay.
runs the Grumpy Bear General Goods.
Oh, yes. We've met. That's where I got the candies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes, I've met that gentleman. Very, very, very nice. Well, you've been most helpful, and I am very much enjoying this bath. I appreciate you taking a look to see what your stores would look like back there. But
Certainly,
yes.
my dear. We are going to be cleaning the water in about 5 minutes, so you may want to hurry up. I will put some towels out for you.
Great. Thank you so much. You've been most helpful. I have one other question, if you wouldn't mind. The house that I'm staying at, there's a lot of figurines of a horse and a serpent, and I've noticed a couple of those around town. Do you know what those are or what the significance is?
Make a persuasion roll.
Okay. Persuasion.
Good
Oh, God, 7. They really don't want me to find out what this is.
I mean, she kind of like crosses her arms a little. It's like, so, it's like a horse entwined with a serpent, right? So,
Yes.
what do you know about the Costran Empire, my dear?
The Costran Empire.
Make a
I
history
don't
check.
think she knows anything. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure what she knows. History. 11.
11. You know the Castran Empire is a set of 7 principalities that reside across the sea. That's about it.
Okay. Castran. Okay. Well.
So, the serpent and the the mare and the serpent is the emblem of the empire. Is displayed by proud and loyal sons and daughters of the empire. Have several expatriates from either of retiring age or simply wanting to live outside of the direct influence of the emperor in the city. Then some of them retain, the loyalty or believe that they are still under the effect of the law that says that the mare and serpent must be displayed prominently.
Gotcha. Interesting. Well, the gentleman that runs the place he's not exactly fun and lively, so just curious.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. We actually came across on the same ship. Christian, I think his name was, yes? Yes, Christian. Christian Zeigel? Anyway, yes, he is... we're both from Ravon. It is a small island in the southern portion of the Glass Sea. I am a native. He is from... I don't know which of the main principalities, but they have a large presence on the island chain now. And it is the closest point from here to the Empire, so a lot of us are from there. Not all of us are Empire children or, followed all the edicts still.
Very interesting. All right. Well, you've been, again, most helpful, and I very much appreciate your letting me use your establishment and the information provided. Thank you so much.
Well, certainly. Enjoy. When the water level starts to recede, it is a good idea to get out. Just to
Yeah.
give you a heads up. If you'll excuse me, I have a scrub down for a dwarf. And
Yeah.
she like grabs a few towels, stops, grabs one more, and sets them out next to like where you have put your supplies and stuff
Okay. Great.
before
Yeah.
leaving.
So Zephyrina, go ahead and get out and start drying off and getting dressed and.
It's some decent towels. Like they're not super thick plush. They're definitely like wash and then put back out on a regular basis, so they're clean. They have a light lemony scent to them. You'd assume from just the oil that was present in some of the washes beforehand.
She'll dry off and kind of on her way out, she'll stop by the desk and just kind of just set off a couple of extra copper pieces in hopes that Mist sees it.
Mist follows you out of the hall, sees you put in. Oh, thank you, my dear. And she takes the coins and puts them in the coffer as well. Please feel free to return at any point. We do if you have, like, say, a special event or something like that that you wish to get primed up for.
Thank you so much.
Take care. And she kind of busies herself. That blue bird is still just kind of sitting in the corner. Looking at you, it doesn't really resemble any specific kind of bird. It's more what the idea of a bird would be described as.
I'll ask Cornelius to attempt to speak with it.
Your owl kind of flutters over to it, looks around, and then flutters back to you like he's confused.
But is it not communicating with him?
He did not seem to even see it. He came over, he looked around, and then he flew back to you.
Interesting. So I'll step up to it and kind of like see, does it like follow me with its...
Yeah, its head like twists and follows you around as you move.
Is it apparent that it's not is it inanimate basically? It's not a real bird at all?
Make a perception check as you get close to it.
Okay. Perception. You said perception?
Yeah.
14.
14. Getting closer and looking over it, you notice that the blue of it is... The feathers look like maybe very thin sapphire that has been skillfully carved and constructed, and there is like a silver undercarriage just below the where the feathers have been attached to the body that glistens lightly. It kind of sits there and just watches you. Doesn't do anything, doesn't react.
Is Mist still in this area?
She is pretty close to it. You think you can hear her just past the curtain.
So she'll turn to her and be like, this is a very beautiful... And then she kind of looks like a camera? Like, trying to get her to acknowledge what it is, or like, she's basically trying to ask, like, what is it, or what is its purpose?
After a few moments, she realizes you're talking to her, and she kind of pokes her head down. I'm sorry, what were you saying, my dear?
What is this this bird? Like, what's its purpose? It's so beautiful, but it doesn't appear to be a real bird.
I honestly am not sure. It shows up in here every now and then. Most people tend to I'm not sure, honestly. It's never bothered anyone. And it just kind of occupies that space, and then it is gone at some later point before I close up most days.
So you don't own it?
No, I have no idea where it came from or whose it is. It's never here when I open, but generally, like, it'll show up after. I'll notice it's here about maybe after breakfast or before the mid-afternoon rush. And then
So you wouldn't mind if I took it?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whose it is. If it's yours, it's yours.
Yeah.
But no one's ever asked about it before or claimed it, so.
So Zephyrina is very curious now, and she wants to attempt to like pick it up or touch it and kind of like turn it over. Like she wants to figure out what this is, and she may take it with her if it's not stuck there or it lets her.
Make a handle animal roll.
Okay. A 10.
10? Alright, let me counter
Yeah.
roll that. As soon as it bring up the thing. I don't know why everything is so difficult on rolling today. Come on. Okay. It's just sitting there staring at me when I tell D&D Beyond to roll dice, so I'm just going to get another dice roller open. I tested the dice roller before I started. What was your roll again? 10?
10.
It kind of like, it doesn't chirp at you, but its mouth kind of opens like it's going to make a sound, and then hops up on your fingertip as you reach out for it. It
And I'll
is surprisingly solid.
Yeah. Yeah. She does. She wants to see if she can, just like keep it with her. See if she can find somebody to identify what it is or see what it. She's just curious. Seems like a good time, so she'll maybe encourage it to get up on the opposite shoulder that Cornelius usually hangs out with and attempt to walk out with it.
Like, it just kind of stays on your finger for a long moment before it just like makes that little silent peep sound again, motion again with its mouth before hopping up onto your shoulder.
Okay. You're a pretty bird, and I'll just walk out. See what happens.
Yeah, no, it just kind of sits there. Its little feet dig into your shoulder just slightly as you start watching to hold it in place, but once it gets used to that, it stays pretty firmly where it is. Kala, you're heading back to the Queen's Cloud?
Yes, because Buttons definitely would have headed straight away to her task and finished all her business before Kala would get there.
Possibly.
Okay. Buttons, what are y'all up to then?
So, yeah, Buttons would have gone to the cloud to inquire about finding a room.
All right, Bert, you and Vesner are staying there, or?
Probably.
Spencer would like to try to start doing some preliminary construction on maybe the underside of Kala's hat.
Okay. Go ahead and make the first crafting roll for me as you're starting to actually physically put the thing together. Dexterity and sleight of hand.
Not doing so good right now, but okay. So dexterity and sleight of hand. Well. All right, so that's just an 8.
Okay.
On the first roll.
That's could be worse. You're just putting together the loose mock-up of it right now. If there's any
Right.
things that pop up later, you can go back and fix them. Buttons, as you head out, there's a spear that has just been thrown on the ground next to outside the shop.
It's a craftsmanship.
3 out of 10. Serviceable, but not well made.
So yeah, Buttons is going to. She picks up the spear, just kind of inspects it with a practice eye for a moment, and then just carefully leans it against the wall. Even
Okay.
if it's not high quality, it doesn't do to leave things just lying about.
All right. Buttons. You arrive at the Queen's Cloud in short order. Kala is buzzing up behind you as you head towards the doorway.
Ah, Kala. How's the what was it? Salt, was it?
I went to get this pine cone.
Sorry, you went to get.
The pinion wood pine cone so that my hat could smell like cinnamon.
Oh, that sounds
As a
lovely.
reminder, Buttons does not actually remember most of what happened in the Feywild.
We did do a storytelling dump though. As soon as
Yeah,
Little
we
bit of
had
one,
our
yeah.
first night there.
it's secondhand knowledge.
Yes, it is. But Buttons is actively not thinking about that. She's actively not at that. Yes. So I was hoping I could ask him at this place about some place to rest my head. Perhaps store some clothes. I don't suppose you've heard anything about the ship coming in. Of
Me?
don't know. Somebody might have been saying something about it. I
You don't like
I've just-
ships.
well, I have been known to suffer from a spot of seasickness myself, but I do hope that everything's all right. It's the whole reason I'm here. You remember?
They said it might be bad weather, right?
Yes, but
But
hopefully
it's
not
far, right?
too
We can't
terrible.
like fly out and fix the weather.
Oh, I don't think anyone could expect you to do that, Kala.
Oh. And she kind of uncomfortably shifts her instrument at her waist. She's like, but it's really far out, right?
A bit far out at least, yes. Are you all right?
Um, um,
What?
do you know it was raining for 10 minutes this morning? No, yesterday. When I was doing the garden and then it went away. I was trying to play to the flowers. So I think if there was a storm, but storms are really far, right? So we can't get rid of the storm?
Likely. Are you saying that you caused that you made it rain?
Oh, only for like 10 minutes and then it started raining, so I put my instrument away and it stopped. Because I went inside. So apparently it goes away if you go inside.
That's certainly a powerful instrument. Then that's something to be careful with.
I'm gonna deliver this pine cone and I'll be right back. Bye.
Right, I'm going to ask inside.
All right. Inside, the evening rush has begun. There is a crowd of people milling about, several of them at tables. You see a collection of three of the canid calicines, the Jacquin, I believe so. Anyway, have made themselves comfortable by the fireplace. One of them seems to have a kind of bone mask on their face. That catches your attention just because of how unusual it is. The rest of the area is what you would expect from a busy tavern with a handful of dwarves running here and there, delivering food and drink as y'all move on from about 2 to 3 to 4 p.m.
Just a quick question. Like technically, if it's like the hat's like a 7 gold hat, he only actually has to put like an hour or so, right?
Yeah,
Okay, just checking. Because I don't want to like do a player request and then we tie up the whole day or something
no, you're
plot
fine.
wise.
Vincer will take as much time as he possibly can to make this thing look good because it's his rep in his eyes.
It's professional. Professional pride, right?
100%.
Okay. Anyway, buttons. A number of dwarves are rushing about, delivering food to tables. You see Mira. Mira. We took a few weeks off, and I've forgotten every NPC's name if it's not obvious. Mira Glassbreaker is back behind the bar, filling drinks, passing them out, taking food orders, and shouting at others who are working in the area to deliver food or get a move on because it's busy. She does acknowledge you by making eye contact, but she seems pretty busy right now.
So I should have come at a less packed time.
Of note, the entire room smells like of roast chicken, hot sausage, potatoes, and that black molasses that she seems to incorporate into a lot of her cooking, which is this weird little tinge of sweet and bitter at the same time.
You've engaged your player's social anxiety.
Play it as Button's social anxiety.
That actually might be very Buttons.
True, but do they have like service at the bar?
Yeah.
Or is it more just kind of like
You see, like, a couple people at the bar eating food, so you can assume that they are getting served food, either directly from Mira or a waiter.
so one's going to kind of draw herself up and head on over to the bar and one beer. A beer, yes.
Mira looks up from where she is pouring a pitcher, and
If it's not too much trouble.
like she gives you a smile, nods. It's like, after a few seconds of dealing with another customer, she comes on over with a setting a pitcher in front of you and a cup and taking it and pointing. It's like, okay, haven't seen you back in here since breakfast.
Yes, well, I've been a bit busy looking around town. I engaged a workspace of sorts, but I was hoping you might be able to help. I'm still looking for a place to stay. You don't know anyone here that might have rooms to let, do you?
She looks confused for a second. I thought you were staying with the wild folk that was asking for a place.
I think it might be best if we have our own spaces, just working together, but maybe not.
I mean, I went to Christen, but I'll need a little bit of time to ask around if you're not willing to stay with her. Knocking along, or anyway, sorry, bartender's habit. Anyway, here, on the house since you had to wait, she kind of pushes the mug of frothy amber beer forward. But I got other people waiting. Sorry, hon. Good luck.
Yes, I don't want to be a bother.
I'll ask around for a bit for you if you want. And
Gee,
she
that
kind
would
of
be so kind.
hurries off to keep customers from yelling at her. On the bright side, since this is a dwarven-run establishment, most of the furniture here is pretty accommodating to your size.
Yay. Now, we go and be productive. Because just because I don't have it written down on my notes, although I know we've gone over it. I haven't actually said it this session. It's been a couple weeks. Why exactly were we going for all the salt again?
Y'all don't know. Zaprina needed 200 pounds of salt as requested by a seed keeper, and
Right.
was told simply that it was a matter of life and death. And she was given a 5-gallon jug of alcohol and a decent amount of gold.
All right, and we're helping out because, well, what else are
Good
we gonna
people.
do?
I don't know that it was ever said that you were going to help me, but you were also waiting on the same ship that had
Yes.
that I was told had the salt, and so we were all kind of like
Holding
hanging
pattern.
out, and then I think Kala kind of brainstormed like a way we could get salt if the ship doesn't come in. So there wasn't any like hard like contract or anything that we were gonna work together
Oh yeah,
per
no,
se.
we were just like trying to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys seemed interested since you were waiting on the same ship that you potentially would help me, or give me some information if you had any to help me secure it. So.
And Kala seemed
Makes
interested
sense.
in solutions that didn't have ships.
Correct.
While Buttons enjoys her beer, Kala, you arrive at Espeley's Silks and Fine Goods. There is a Bonrun looks and says, are you still needing Vensner?
Yeah,
Vensner!
materials. Yeah, Kala just buzzes to the back.
Bye.
And waves as she goes. Kala doesn't understand protocol for waiting at places.
As you buzz into the back, I'm assuming. Oh wait, as you buzz into the place, you would see the spear just kind of leaning on the wall outside. I'm assuming Vincner is throwing a sheet over Fricky's station.
Yeah, had already kind of done that and
Yeah.
ended up, using a small ladder, kind of climb up on one side, start the sheet, and just,
I'd
you know,
probably help you with that.
Yeah.
Telekinesis.
TK makes it
Using
bloody
ladders and whatnot.
as
Friend
Kyle.
in Conewood.
She presents you a kind of greenish, woody seed chips, the tips of which have started to turn brown and harden, but the main body of which has this kind of weird rubbery texture to it. They have a faint kind of sage and cinnamon smell to them.
I think if we hurry, we can use the part that's rubbery to sew them together like a flower before it hardens. And then no one will ever know how we got it to go together.
that's an interesting technique. Yes, I think we could do that. Would you, would you like me to try to cover it in a resin so that it doesn't change anymore? Like maybe it seems like we could paint it. It could be a different color too. Maybe the resin would affect the smell though. And Spencer's
It's
just
really
kind of
natural.
musing.
It's like
Okay.
like there's the musical thing where you have a counterpoint note, kind of like that, but for fashion. Like we have like the bright colors and the fancy stitching, but then
Yes,
like the natural element.
yes. I tend to use gold in my stitching. Is that something that you are interested in, or
Oh, then it would match my harp.
okay, excellent. Vincer kind of starts like presents kind of the under fashioning that he's been doing to kind of create the non metallic like essentially creating a type of mold for the the structure of the hat,
Mhm.
and just kind of like shows it. It's just like it's not much yet, but this is kind of what I was going for the underside, and then it's still malleable. We can we can flare out the sides if you want. I know that you didn't want it to affect your hair too much.
Should we do a vine check?
Sure, sure. And Venser kind of helps, like, um, asks, Kala, just sit here, and I will try to, and he puts it on her head.
It's a little tight across the back of the head, but it's not uncomfortable.
A
Tight.
little bit right there, 'cause I have more vines, near the back.
Sure, sure. We need to take it out there. Fine. What do you think of the shape?
Looks pretty good. I think if we roll one corner, then I can set the flower pieces in it too, like on
Oh,
the
that would
stem.
be great.
So
Yes, the right side here, and he kind of like starts to flare it out and then roll it,
yeah,
almost like
yeah,
a scroll.
like how people tuck a flower in their hair, only just in the hat.
Sounds right.
All right. As y'all set to work on manipulating and making adjustments to the hat, Zaprina, you have two birds on your shoulder. One is kind of very
Yep.
still and
Yes.
is slightly solid, more solid feeling than you would expect.
Yeah. So she is kind of pleased with herself that she picked up a new little trinket of some kind. She's not really sure what it is, but she's maybe feeling like she's having a lucky day here. So she's gonna start heading back towards the tavern, but I think she'd like to stop it back into the Grumpy Bear since Miss mentioned Eric
Averick?
being a person that potentially is her kind of supplier for salt, and just pop in there and ask him some questions.
All right. Entering the Grumpy Bear, you see a wide array of shelves with an eclectic mix of various goods. A kind of sleepy looking half elf is manning the counter, writing in a short logbook as you enter. So, hello, yes?
Is this the same person that I bought the candy from
Yes. Oh, hello again.
earlier? Oh, okay. Hello again. Your candy is delicious, by the way. I have been enjoying it today.
Glad to hear it.
I'm popping back in. I was down the way at the bathhouse, and the proprietor mentioned that she procures her salt for her scrubs from you. I'm actually in the market for a very large quantity of salt. Do you by chance have a warehouse for large quantities that I potentially could purchase from you?
I mean, how large of a quantity are we talking?
I'm looking for 200 pounds. It's a matter of life or death for somebody. It's very important.
Oh my, that is a lot of salt. Um, hmm.
I'm aware there's a ship coming in that may have more, but given the time-sensitive nature of the quest I've been given, I'm trying to procure it in case that ship does not arrive in time.
I was just like, 1 sec, and he kind of gets up and goes back into the stacks of stuff, and you hear like some things being shifted around. Before he comes back with like a small little pouch, maybe about a little bit bigger than palm size, and he sets it down on top of the table and looks at it like, this is a endless spice pouch. Now, you can only pull out a certain amount over time, and he kind of opens it and reaches in and pulls out about maybe just slightly more than a handful of salt, which he then sprinkles on top of the table.
Endless spice pouch.
Yes.
How much can you pull out a day?
You can pull out 5 handfuls a day.
5 handfuls. Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, that wouldn't get me to my 200 pounds in time.
yes, if you have a limited amount of time, then this is not going to be the solution to that. But this may be he kind of nudges it forward a little. It's like, I could let it go for, say, 50 gold.
Could we put the 200 pounds we acquire into this?
No, I would not recommend. I don't think you can actually put anything that didn't come out of it into it. I mean, I'm not a magic person. I just, this was traded to me for a herbalism kit and a healing kit, and so I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. I can make that trade, and so I've just kind of had it sitting around here for a while now. I mean, if you want things by the pound, I have about 2 pounds of gold that I have been waiting for the smith to get free to turn into some sort of jewelry for me. But anyway, sorry, I'm having a bit of a day. Don't mind me. Anyway, did you want this or not? I'm sorry. My head is all places.
It's a very interesting item. But if I can't put anything else in it, is it only salt that comes out of it?
No, it's any spice. Here, hold on. And he kind of reaches into it again, and he pulls out a about maybe an equal amount of turmeric, and just kind of sprinkles it on the. You can only do it 5 times per day, but it doesn't have to be all of any one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really what I was in the market for, but that is a very interesting item. I think I'll take it, actually, for your 50 gold pieces.
Excellent. Thank everything, Ollie. Thank you, Spirits. Thank you. Kind of like, and then pushes it forward. It's like, that'll be 50 gold.
And she'll give you the 50 gold. You seem very relieved. Are you hurting for money?
No, I'm just so sick of having this here.
And why would that be? Does it give you a hard time in some way?
No, it just no one wanted to buy it. I mean, I will acknowledge the asking price was a bit of an intimidation factor for some people, but it's one of those. I can finally put something up. He goes and grabs like a canvas from underneath the he's standing behind, and he like sets it down where the back and it's like, yes. Anyway, hi.
Would it be fair to say that this place is like almost a pawn shop? Like, does he kind of like deal in all types of like random things outside of
that is
general
definitely
goods?
the impression. Like, looking around, you see like there's a backpack hanging off of the wall with a bedroll attached to it. There's the square of canvas he put up. You actually see 4 chickens just kind of roosting on a set of barrels at one end. There's like a bagpipe hanging off of one of the shelves. It's just a collection of random stuff, it seems.
Okay. So just so she'll pay him for the endless spice bag because it's just something she thinks cool, but also will kind of pick the little bird, her new little friend, and will ask him if he can. Have you ever seen one of these before? It's something I found earlier, and I don't. It doesn't appear to be a real bird, and she'll kind of like present it to him to look at, out of if he can identify it in some way.
Okay, making an investigation check, and I rolled a 3. He kind of like oh, you have a bird there. Sorry, the owl was just so attention grabbing. It's not a bird?
Doesn't appear to be a live bird, and she kind of hands it to him so he can feel like the weight of it, and if he wants to kind of look at it a little bit. But
he takes it for a moment, and it kind of settles in his hand, and he looks at it, and he's like kind of sets it down. He's like, oh, right, if you'll excuse me for a second. And he wanders off for about maybe 2 minutes before he comes back with like a bag of ball bearings, and he kind of arranges that next to the canvas. Sorry, I knew it needs something else. You were asking me about something?
Well, it's fine. It doesn't. It was just if you had seen one of these bluebirds before, and she'll pick it back up and put it back on her shoulder. She's a little nervous that he wants to like destroy it or something. So
He
So-
honestly does not seem to notice you
Yeah.
pick it up or anything like that, or even be
Okay.
aware of the
Yeah.
fact that it's been moved from, or that it was on
Yeah.
the desktop.
Okay. So yeah. Well, thank you so much for your very interesting bag of spices. This is definitely something I've never seen.
Okay, like I said, I'm sorry. I buy what they have, and so if I manage to find anyone that has any, I will definitely buy some for you and hold on to it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, don't go out of your way, but maybe I'll pop back in to see if you've heard anything.
I look forward to it again. Take care. Thank you.
Good night, or good afternoon, and she'll head to the tavern.
Good afternoon. Okay. Kala, Bert, and Bensner, go ahead and make me that final craft roll, please.
What are you rolling?
With advantage. Make it is a dexterity and sleight of hand. Just one of y'all needs to make the roll.
Do you
Whoever
want
is doing,
me? Do you want me to make it? Or...
whoever is doing the work makes the roll.
Oh. I have a half skill in sleight of hand.
I have no skill in sleight of hand. I
Do you
just
want
have
me to do it
a high
then?
dexterity.
You're
Well, I
not
mean,
doing the work.
you add your proficiency to it from your tailoring tools.
Oh, then yours is probably better.
Okay, so that would just be +6. All right. Does Spencer recognize that Kala's a bard?
Well, not of the bar specifically. Recognize her college or anything like that. You would recognize like she has a natural charismatic presence.
So generally for overtime skill test, he doesn't allow bonuses that would only last for one round.
Okay, so no possible for inspiration.
Probably not. Goodness.
Not in this case, no.
All right. Well, it's still a pretty good roll. It's a 21.
Okay, 21. With the 10 earlier, and you're doing the seeds of a pinton seed.
I think there was a 15 the first day.
Oh, it was 15. Even better.
Well, there was a first roll like on a different day that you took.
Yeah, it's what I thought it was a 10. If it was a 15, that's fine. I just don't have.
I don't remember then.
It's
for
been
sure.
too long.
Yeah, I was not expecting the frequent breaks. Okay, anyway, let me pull my notes. Yeah, it was 15. 15, and we're going to ignore that 8 from earlier. And the Pinton. So that is a score of 315. So this is after a good bit of work. You have, it's not quite to the point of being exceptional or groundbreaking, but it's a very well designed hat with a light cinnamon scent. And since you have 3 points, 300 from the score, you can spend 100 points to add a tag to the hat if you want to say it is a fancy hat. And situations where a fancy hat comes in would be having that hat would be beneficial. If you want to say it is very well constructed and is well made, it'll probably hold up on traveling a bit longer. And you can do 3 tags to it if you want.
I think we were originally doing tea party, so fancy would be a really good tag.
So I have these points, this score.
Mhm.
You're saying that I can use parts of the score to add tags to it
Yep.
to change kind of the properties of it.
100%.
Um, okay, if I don't use the tag, if I don't redeem the points for those tags, what happens? It's just a regular hat and those.
It just remains at that quality.
Gotcha. I'll use the tags. I'll spend them. This
Okay.
isn't my finest work, but I want it to be as good as it can be, because I'm trying to make a name for myself.
Ah,
So yeah, fancy, well-made hats.
okay.
Want to give fragrant for the third, since we've got the pinion wood?
So it's I guess that third one would be up to Kala. Vince would say, I think that you wanted something fancy. This is what I consider a very well made. It's maybe not my finest work, but it's getting up there. Would you like me to enhance the scent?
Oh, that would be good. A wood, so maybe we can kind of emphasize its woodsiness a little.
Yeah,
Since
that sounds.
I'll probably have flowers already, so
Yes, and it has that counterpoint you were talking about. It would be a fragrant counterpoint. So yes, let's enhance the wood, and then you would add flowers to it later as your own adornment, however you would wish per day. That sounds excellent.
all right. So
Uh,
whoever is holding onto the hat, record this as an item that you have a fancy, well-made, fragrant hat. Using the seed pods, it has this kind of woody, cinnamon and sage scent to it that just permeates the area within 5 feet of you.
and so I subtracted 7 gold, so he would actually add since so he would actually add 3.5 gold to his
Yep,
inventory as his profit for today,
yep, yep, yep,
and then subtract from the material chest, right?
yep, yep, yep.
what is my material subtraction?
I believe it was a 7. You spend half, put 50 in at double the rate, so it should be 3.5, right? Am I mathing in the right
If
direction?
you doubled the original rate, was the intention to just take it out at the final rate at the end?
Yes.
So it would just be 7 off of materials, which is the same as 3.5 gold?
So
Yes.
it's
Okay.
breaking even. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a very nice hat. You could definitely charge far more for it if you wanted to try and create something like this similar to sell later.
So basically, it's 3.5 goes into materials, 3.5 goes to you. It's just the nature of the chest materials being doubled.
Yep.
Right. Essentially, what I'm doing is deducting 7 gold of materials and just adding 3.5 back as currency
Yep. Yep.
into
Yep.
my inventory.
That's perfect. Zaprina, as you approach the tavern, you see it is quite busy. A pack of 3 dogs are kind of hanging out by the fireplace, kind of look like they're conversing with each other. You know what the Kalkin, the animal folk, are. You've encountered one today already in the form of Bert. Or was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
It's not real.
This morning, yeah. This morning.
Um,
When she steps in, does she notice does she see anybody she knows from this morning? Or does she notice them?
Buttons would be pretty noticeable. There's very few herringons, and her outfit does not fit in very well with like the sailor garbs and the porter heavy lifting, working all day kind of outfits that other people have. So you can definitely get eyes on Buttons at the bar having a beer.
All right. So she'll be like, "Hello, friend," and go right up to Miss Buttons from this morning.
All right. Sorry to interject real quick. What was that, Ziz?
I was sure. I was just going to type to interrupt. Actually, shouldn't it be him adding 7 gold currency and then subtracting the 7 on the material chest because he physically got given 7 gold?
Yes.
Okay, not 3.5. Okay, just making sure because actually he should be 3.5 gold up on profit from the way the crafting works for his time.
Okay, yes, I see where I got tripped up on my
No,
math.
I did too the first time, so I think that that would fix it. Sorry to interrupt.
Anyway,
You're
Buttons,
fine.
you hear a voice call out to you from behind, and you see a freshly washed satyr.
Zephyra, yes? From this morning?
Zephyrina, yes, we
Zephyrina, I'm
broke our
sorry.
fast this morning together.
It's a pleasure to see you again. How goes the day? I'm looking to find lodging.
Well, I do believe there is an extra room with the proprietor of the place that I'm staying. There were 2 bedrooms. I could potentially see if we could get him to agree to rent you the other one.
Oh,
It's pretty
that-
Spartan. It's nothing fancy. I'm not really sure what you're used to, but it's got a
I'm sure I
comfortable
can
bed.
manage to rough it. You can just about hear like the air quotes around "rough it." She's very not used to it, but
Meryl, could you move your mic up just slightly?
dang it, sorry. The gain on this
No
mic is
problem.
weird.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
All right.
Well, once we have a couple of drinks, we'll see if we can get you set up over there. Maybe. I don't see why he's not exactly overly friendly either, but he's not. I don't know. He seems like he just will stay out of your way. So maybe he'll rent you the room.
All right. Yes, and I was thinking, you needed that salt, yes?
I do. 200 pounds of salt, but nobody around here seems to have more than say 10 pounds of it. So I'm really relying on that ship to get here, unless you know another way to potentially get some.
I don't know if it will work, but it was just an idea. I don't suppose there's any sort of actually, sorry, question for the GM.
Mhm.
Is desalination a technology that like is
Yeah,
known
no, they
here?
totally know how to take
Okay.
water from the sea and boil it away and have the salt.
Right. I don't suppose there's any desalinization. I knew I was losing a syllable there. Any desalinization efforts anywhere near this town? Maybe. I
Unfortunately,
perhaps we could do something like that on our own. I don't know.
Glassbreaker Port is a bit of a cooler climate. It's more judicious. Think Pacific Northwest, cold and wet 90% of the time.
Not the kind of place you would do that. Dang it.
Now you can totally just like get seawater and boil it.
So yeah, that's roughly what Buttons is suggesting. But like, I mean, it's going to be dreadfully difficult to do it at scale. But it might help a bit. I suppose. And seawater is free.
Buttons, make just a general intelligence check.
Okay. Checking to see if this is a boneheaded idea problem. That's a natural 1.
Oh no.
Never mind then.
This is a little off today.
Yeah. Well,
She's just trying to think of stuff that might be able to
definitely.
help.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think. I mean, since I'm not from around here, I don't know if they would have a setup, like you said, to do it large enough to scale. But it's an idea to keep in mind. You know, I've had a most interesting day, and she points at the new little bird she's had. I've had a bath. I feel amazing, and I acquired this little thing, and she kind of presents it to Miss Buttons. Have you ever seen anything like this? I don't think it's real. It doesn't seem to be a real bird.
Buttons, make an investigation roll.
Yeah. And keep in mind, Buttons has kettle handy.
Mhm.
Oh my god. 8. I rolled a 1 and then I rolled a 2. Dice
Impressive.
don't like me today.
You had not noticed the little bird until she pointed it out to you. But she has like a little. It's very generic. It's like what a child's idea of a bird would be. Done up in blue sapphire with silver wiring.
I mean, so it is clearly not a natural bird,
When you
as you said.
notice it, it is clearly not a natural bird.
That is interesting. Ah,
What's really weird is most people don't seem to notice it at all. Like,
it does. It rather. The eye just skips over it. I
yeah,
didn't notice it myself.
but it's bright blue.
Oh yes, bluebirds aren't that rare, are they? Artificial bluebirds are something else entirely.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like in an establishment where I was taking the bath, and the proprietor says it just periodically shows up and then leaves on its own. So I took it with me, with her permission, of course. And it's just hanging out. But I'm very curious to find out what it is. Have you ever seen anything like it before?
I mean, I've done a little bit of dabbling into creating artificial life. I mean, again, so yeah, Kettle kind of hops forward on her shoulder. Actually, she wouldn't have Kettle on her shoulder. Kettle would be like on the table. There's
Yeah,
a kettle on the table.
Kettle on the table. Kettle has to occasionally move out of the way to keep from being picked up as dwarves come by to clean.
Yes. It does have little, like, kind of chickeny legs on it. But I'm afraid this is... I'm not familiar enough with anyone else's work to be able to recognize style, I'm afraid. It's definitely artificial. Couldn't tell you what sort of artificial it is. Unless you want me to... I mean, I could attempt to disassemble it, but that... not knowing its inner workings, I will be terribly afraid of breaking something and being unable to put it back together again.
Yeah, I don't think I want to take it apart. Just curious what it is.
Buttons. As you're handling it, your fingers start to get cold.
Oh.
Not like heat is draining away from them, but like you're holding onto something cooler than the area around you, and it's starting to feel cold.
It's not putting out any heat. Fascinating construction. And you said that it just showed up?
I mean, it was just kind of hanging out in the corner of the bathhouse, and it looked like it was observing me, but it doesn't seem to speak. And Cornelius here, and she kind of points up to her familiar, can't speak to it either. And it seems, then I realized it was kind of made out of artificial things. Yeah. So I just decided to take it with me. It's very pretty, whatever it is, but...
And I suppose you did the whole peck once for yes, twice for no, if you understand sort of thing, and nothing?
I mean, I didn't try to speak with it other than to say hello, but let's try it.
It's worth a try.
And so she'll turn to it and, do you understand us? What does it do?
All right. As you ask this question, it turns to look at you, and we are going to go on break and be back in 15 minutes. Because I need to get a fresh drink. And also, this seems like a good stopping point. Back in 15, everyone.
Yeah. Sounds good.
They can hear you, and so by that definition, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the bonus roll. I scalded my mouth with hot cheese water.
Please don't do that.
Wait, on purpose?
Well, yes, no, maybe. Depends on your definition of on purpose.
Semi-intentional due to timing.
Plus, I estimated how hot it was versus how sensitive my mouth is. It's fine. How are y'all?
Sure it is.
I hope everyone enjoyed the break, because let's get back to some D&D.
Sounds good.
It's
All right.
D&D, it's dynamite. I don't know.
Oh, you have to write a song now.
I'm not
And
going to
who's-
rewrite the song that already exists.
Who says Buttons isn't a bard?
Yeah.
This is Bardcore. No. Bardcore, don't sue us. There's actually a actual play that is called Bardcore, and they all play
Nice.
bards. That said,
Sounds complicated.
Buttons and Zaprina have located a bird that is made out of gemstones and silver that other people seem to either not notice or forget about pretty quickly. They are trying to give it the Harkness test, I'm assuming.
Something like just if it understands common.
And what was the question? Do you understand me?
Hmm.
I believe, yes.
The bird stares up at you with its kind of glassy, colorful eyes. Its mouth opens just slightly. It makes this absolute silent motion like it's chirping, and then just stares at you.
It has some recognition of some kind, but it's just, but you keep saying it's silent when it moves its mouth. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody will know what it is at some point.
Or where it came from, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or if somebody's missing it. I don't know if it belongs to anybody. I just know that it didn't belong to the proprietor of the bathhouse, so she didn't seem upset that I wanted to take it. So.
And I know that if I owned something like that, I'd be terribly worried if it went missing. Somebody put work into
Yeah, I mean
this.
it's probably valuable.
Team, make Kala a hat. You have made Kala a hat. It's a very nice hat.
Kala's wearing her hat. So, you think we'll still do this concert thing tonight?
We talked about it, but I mean, we need a place to play, and we need to be able to get the word out, and it seems like an awful lot for a short period of time.
Oh. Usually when I want stuff, I just buzz around and ask people or tell them for a while. But I guess concerts need more than that. I don't know.
What? Why were we playing a concert? Just to play music, and I mean, we've never even played together. It seems
But I found out we could have one.
true. Sure.
So they said there's the gambling place and the fighting place, maybe. And then there's always people at the docks. And then there's always people near the market.
True. So is it just you and I?
Oh, Zafrina was going to play. She had an instrument.
It's true. That's true. I wonder
Have
if
to
we
find
need
her
to.
for the concert.
I wonder if we need to. Are we just going to improvise? Like when you play, do you play songs you know, or do you just play whatever strikes your fancy?
I usually just say stuff and strum music.
Oh,
Like the Tea Party story.
right.
I know some songs, like maybe 5.
That's actually the song she knows, maybe 5.
I mean, I haven't gotten much chance to listen to songs yet.
Interesting. Well, most of my accompaniment is percussion. My tantan, it makes a little bit of noise, and I mean, while I have some experience performing, it's not exactly my forte, but I'm willing to give it a hand.
I think she had a type of flute, a shawarma. So that's wind, and you have percussion, and Kala holds up her harp, and I have strings. So that's what we need, right? Hey, Bert, do you sing?
If I do, I get clothing thrown at me. Mostly shoes.
Do you
Ah,
need shoes?
If I ever do get shoes, they usually aren't shoes for very long.
Okay. Maybe you can be the a person that goes around and says, "Hey, there's a band. Do you think we need a practice day? We could do a practice day somewhere."
why don't we just maybe regroup with the others and see if they're on board for this, or are they just going to drink and watch us and like, or it seemed like Zafrina was more interested in getting salt. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking we could maybe just charge people salt to come in or to
Oh,
listen. Cause like I don't think I need any coins right now. I have some coins, so I'm pretty good on coins. That's what people usually give for stuff.
true. Maybe we would be able to, if there's enough people and they bring enough salt, then maybe it's a head start. It's an interesting idea. Why don't we ask her?
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, are you
should
done with your work, Bert? Are you done
Uh,
with your buttons?
I suppose.
And that you have run out of buttons, yes.
Okay. I guess I'm done with work then.
Did you make any money from your work, Bert?
Did I?
Esplee came by and gave you about maybe 4 silver.
Because you like coins a lot.
Uh, Time to get drunk.
Let's roll
oh,
that kitty liver.
so then to the Queen's Cloud then, yes.
To the Queen's Cloud.
Bonrun, I'll be back. Maybe.
Bonron's like, okay, I'll tell everyone you'll be back.
Maybe.
Maybe. Now? Or should I, like, in the morning?
I'm not certain. I mean, you know me. If inspiration strikes, I want to get at my material. So maybe a few hours.
Alright.
I'll at minimum I'll stick my head back in.
Okay, I know you.
You have a good one.
Thank you. You're good too. I'm gonna sweep. As he gets a broom.
Oh yeah, sweep. And I guess Venser would notice the spear,
Yeah,
like
there's a
Frecky's
spear
spear.
leaning against the outside wall. A few people have, like, stopped and looked at it, but no one's taken it.
Venser, recognizing that it looked like what Frecky had, just grabs it, comes back in and be like, "I'm back!" and then walks over to the station and puts it on Frecky's station.
Alright. Like, it just sits on top of her, like, mound of leathers that she has arrayed there. Um, it's not the best spear, but it's not, like, a terrible spear. It doesn't roll off or anything like that, though.
It's good.
and it's probably where no child will find and play with it. So, all in all, seems like a good place to leave it.
Are spears usually used for clothing making?
No, but I mean, I guess if you were being really creative and exotic and punching holes in materials, you could use one. I think Frankie was going to use this to go hunt some caiman, but thought differently. But it's hers nonetheless. There's no reason to leave it out.
Yeah, I had to point out that if you use a spear at the vital organs, you're then ruining the material.
Oh, should we be hitting things with blunt things?
If we want to keep them for material.
I don't have blunt things. Yeah, pointy
You have
things.
spells. Spells could work.
Maybe.
This fire is very blunt.
And she holds up a little crossbow. Mostly pointy things.
It's an adorably tiny crossbow.
Do you all get in many fights?
No.
I got in like 3 this week. Is that many?
Any concern from my perspective, but
Then maybe.
They started it.
well, I'm not much in the way of protection. If you need me to be a bouncer at your concert, maybe we need to hire Bonra.
I'm assuming y'all are walking and talking during this.
Yes.
Sounds good.
The Queen's Cloud Tavern is slowly starting to shed its customers as supper winds down and people go about their late afternoon dinner their late afternoon activities before dinner time. You see entering in there the group of Jaquin have remained by the fireplace. Buttons and Zephrina are at the bar top examining something. You can't get a good look at it from entering the place. And a bevy of dwarves are moving around the area, clearing tables, cleaning dishes, and setting things up for the dinner.
Bert's gonna hop on the stool and kind of rest his like front paws on the bar and look very, very kind of stare at the bartender.
Mira kind of like notices she is being stared at and slowly stops cleaning the glass and stares back.
Beer, please.
She kind of looks around and nods, very unnerved by
Preferably
this
with a straw.
Okay, and she like sets out the mug, pours it with a kind of thick, foamy amber liquid, and then gets you like a few strands of horse hay straw.
Buzz. Buzz, buzz. Kala, basically like clearing her throat, goes up to Zephrina and makes a couple buzzing noises to get attention.
Hello, friend.
Hey, are you still concerting? Venser thought we might need practicing stuff.
I mean, I'm down for a performance. I'm pretty confident we could figure something out, but
I'll be happy to applaud.
So I was thinking we just ask him for Salt to come see the performance.
ooh, that's an interesting idea.
And Buttons would have a really important role. Because
Oh,
Buttons
dear.
has a bag that just holds a bunch of things. So Buttons could just put Salt in the bag.
Oh, yes, I do believe I would be up to that.
And then it could hold a lot. And the bag holds a lot. So then we could just see how much we have at the end.
How much does your bag hold, Buttons?
Let's see. I think it would probably be right up to looking up how much a bag of holding can hold. Which is a bag of holding hold?
500.
500 pounds. It's about, let's say 500 pounds or so.
Amazing.
Although it's not
Well,
entirely, it's not infinitely spacious. It can only hold about, maybe about 60 feet, cubic feet of material. Not sure of the density of salt.
But like, if it got too much, wouldn't it just not go in the bag, and then we could use something else?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So
we-
maybe we just get a couple extra bags in case, like other normal bags. I mean,
some
we'd
extra
yes.
stacks.
have to be doing really good on our concert to fill it up. I think that sounds like a lot
Yeah.
of space.
Yes. Also, okay. Sorry, I actually just looked up the density of salt. We would run out of poundage way before we would run out of space. It's about 80 pounds of salt per cubic foot.
Yep.
Salt
Sounds
was that
great.
dense.
So, I guess, do we have a way to measure the weight or the mass of the salt before so that we
Generally,
know that we haven't?
generally bulk salt is sold in 1 pound bricks.
We weigh it, basically.
Or count however many bricks
I
you
would-
have.
Do we have a scale?
No, I think we could maybe use the grumpy bear place with the general goods. They probably have a scale.
Do you think they'd let us perform outside there?
I don't know that we want to perform out there. I think this might be our area here, or at least to start here.
Either here
Yeah,
or
I don't know how many
there's-
clients we get outside the Grumpy Bear.
Because they also said that other bar is right across the street. So if they say no here, maybe there, or maybe like there's a gambling place and an arena, and then there's just the open docks, and then there's the open market square. I mean, it's not very open this time of day, but maybe later.
Here delivers the beer and charges 4 copper to Bert.
And Zephyrina will attempt to catch Mira's eye and,
Yes, hon.
hey, beautiful, can I get one of those too, please?
She thinks a little and smiles. Sure thing. Anyone else want drinks while I'm getting them?
Spencer holds his hand up.
What can I get for you, dear?
Same. We're drinking beer.
All right. Bunny?
Okay.
Okay. For the little one and the bunny? Refill, hon? She kind of snaps her fingers in front of Button.
I was thinking, yes, I suppose a refill can't hurt.
If you think you're not having drunk enough, that's for sure. That's right. She heads off and comes back with a pitcher and starts pouring amber ale. Good for you. Enough of it, you don't have to think too much. She kind of winks at Buttons. It's like, 4 copper for the friends.
I'll take care of it.
So generous. I will get the next round.
Y'all gonna want anything to eat? We just finished our dinner rush, and we haven't really started cooking anything for supper. But there's some stuff we could eat up if you're hungry.
Chicken.
Just whatever you bring, I would gladly eat. I am a little hungry.
All right,
I'm quite all right, I think.
I'll see what I can scrap together for y'all. If y'all want to take a table,
good.
Yeah, sure. We'll take a table. And then I'll turn to Kala and point at the bird on my shoulder too, and look what I found today.
Kala,
You
make
ever
an
seen anything like this?
Kala, make an investigation roll.
19.
19. There's a little blue bird sitting on her shoulder.
Oh, that's pretty.
See if you can talk to it.
Hello, bird.
It looks at you and
Huh?
opens its mouth like it's tweeting or chirping, but no sound comes out.
I was able to talk to it.
Did you hear anything,
Oh,
or did
no,
it just
there
move
was-
its mouth?
There was no sound. I didn't know I was checking for that. Are we doing tests?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if somebody can figure out what its purpose is.
I wonder. There aren't any signs of damage on the outside of it, are there?
No, nothing you can see. Everyone is about within 5 feet of Zeprina, right?
Sure.
I believe so.
Yep.
All right. The bird kind of like makes a little shake of its head. There's a small clatter of crystals, and then a cloud emits out from it. I need everyone to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, I have advantage against those, I think. Oh wait, no, yeah, because is this magic?
No.
I got
Oh,
15.
okay. You
15?
said
Save.
charisma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's something I'm proficient in.
It's a 12.
9.
10.
9. Okay. Bert,
14.
14. All right. Anyone who rolled an 11 or less, you kind of have this very warm, calming sensation. It's not quite euphoric, but it's very relaxing. Wash over you for about a minute.
Whoa,
Is the
dude.
bird still there?
That is
Yeah.
Did it-
lovely.
Okay.
The bird is
What?
still there.
What's going on? Are you okay, Zephrina?
Yeah, feel good.
Is this what
She's
bear's
just kind of
supposed
like
to do?
staring.
I mean, ideally.
Kala just gingerly sips hers. I guess I got here late for it. Everyone's already had their beer. She just seems really confused.
Can Vincer try to look at the bird also to see if something's changed with it?
Sure thing. Make a investigation roll.
That is a dirty 20.
All right.
Nice.
You noticed it when they pointed it out. Investigating it, like now that it's released this puff of gas, you notice that a couple of the feathers have moved off to the side, revealing a silver undercarriage below them that they're attached to that have a little cylinder that is sliding closed.
I think this bird just did something. Like it. Did you see that puff of smoke?
I'm sure it's all right.
I mean,
It's not a
maybe, but this is mechanical. Like it intentionally, like maybe, maybe it blessed us. I don't know exactly, but this is very strange.
As y'all are talking, Mira comes by with a plate of shredded chicken, and a number of cubes of rye bread with rosemary and a drizzle of olive oil in a cup with a little balsamic vinegar added to it, and then also a few other dipping sauces such as thinned out molasses and a few sauces that look a little orange to red in color that smell of spiced peppers and heat. Oh, I shredded the chicken we had, and I cut up some of the leftover rosemary bread. Mixed up a few aiolis and some pressed olive juice with a little vinegar on top. Is there anything else I can get for y'all? It's going to be 4 silver for the lot.
Vincer reaches in and pulls out 4 silver.
All right, enjoy your meal.
Thank you so much. It smells delicious.
Happy to be accommodating.
I have to ask, does the smoke from the bird come with the munchies?
You do feel a little hungry, yes.
Oh,
Mira, do you have any spare empty sacks from supplies and stuff and making things we could buy? Like just a couple?
Like, I got a couple turnip bags, something like that.
Yeah, just stuff we can put stuff in, like if we have extra salt bricks later.
I'm not sure what you're about, but sure, give me a second to cut them open and dump the turnips out. She kind of
Thank you.
gets a knife from under the bar and heads into the back room.
Spencer will continue to kind of warily look at the bird, and keep his eye on it.
It's
Make sure it doesn't
if-
change or try to steal something and fly off.
it's weird because unless you're looking directly at it, it's hard to really notice what it's doing.
Kala will tilt her head to one side and then watch if the bird does.
The bird just kind of keeps watching whoever is closest to it and looking directly at it.
Okay, that test failed.
I don't suppose
It's
there's
an interesting thing.
there isn't any sort of maker's mark or anything like that on it, is there?
Make an investigation.
I couldn't find one. I couldn't find one. That's why I'm hoping somebody else can tell me what they think it is or recognizes it.
Uh, 10.
10? I mean,
I'm rolling crap today.
as you're handling it, your fingers get cold from touching it. Like, not painful, but oop, that's a bit of a chill. You don't really see any maker's mark or anything like that on the surface level of it.
Tempted to have Kettle try to warm it up. So I don't get chilled handling it, but I doubt that'll get us any closer to figuring out whose this is.
Hi, bird. Do you belong to somebody?
Can you lead us to your master or your maker? Or whoever?
After we eat.
Terribly sorry.
Y'all haven't noticed it flying or anything like that. You're not sure it can actually do that.
So, Buttons, have you figured out lodging for the night?
Oh, yes.
Yes, Zaprina. Zaprina? Zaprina. Sorry, I'm trying to get
Zephyrina,
character
yes.
names right.
Zephyrina.
That's right.
Zephyrina.
Zephyrina, yeah.
Zephyr.
Like an
Zephyrina.
S instead of for the PH.
Yeah.
Okay. Zephyrina was. I was talking with Zephyrina about possibly getting lodging in. You said that there was an empty room where you were staying.
Mhm. Yeah, the gentleman I'm staying with, his name is Kristen. He has 2 rooms in the house that I'm staying in. I'm in one, so I can't imagine he would mind if the other one was rented out too.
Yes, and we were going to have a drink and then check that out, but then all of you turned up, and he. So at this point, are we still all affected?
No, it
by
only
the
lasts a
crowd?
minute.
And that I don't know if you could even call it a trap went off. That perhaps the bird is some sort of relaxation device. If that happens again, I'll have to try to capture a sample, see if I can analyze exactly what that is.
Vesner, didn't you mention somebody liked to tinker with stuff?
I mean, Chandra would tinker somewhat, but most of that is just on creating clasps and fasteners for jewelry and clothing. But I mean, we could potentially take the bird to Chandra. Do you think she may be close to being done for the day, though.
Bird, can you put your wing out like this?
It mimics you.
Oh. We had test success.
Interesting.
Akala puts her arm down. Bird, can you stand on one leg like this and then stand back?
It mimics what you do.
Does that help?
Yes.
I tested it.
Yes. Thank
Some
you so
kind of
much.
Thinking going on in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it. I think I'll let it hang out. Maybe it'll contribute to our performance later.
So yeah,
I
we're
think that
gonna
we should
go.
potentially have our concert outside the gambling hall that I've heard of. Clearly, people will have money if they're going there,
But
so they could
we're
afford to
looking for
have
salt.
salt as an entrance fee to the concert. Maybe they'd be drinking a lot, which is totally my style, and be up for a party.
I mean, I guess there's like some quantities of salt available for sale, so we could always hit up just a bunch of little places if it doesn't come soon. Though, hopefully tomorrow, right?
We're supposed to check back tomorrow.
If we,
You know,
Uh,
speaking of instruments and things, college, how many different instruments do you play?
While y'all are talking, here comes Zion, sets a shot in front of Zaprina. It has a kind of milky texture to it, with a light froth on the top, and smells of warm nutmeg. In fact,
Ooh,
there's a
what
spring.
is this?
It's fermented goat's milk with a nutmeg dusting.
Oh, sounds delicious. Is this courtesy of you?
She kind of
She
nods.
gives her a wink and she'll take the shot.
It has a very liquid yogurt consistency to it. Like, not runny, but a thickness to it. It has a kind of numbing quality, and the nutmeg carries through, covering up the inherent bitterness of the fermented goat's milk.
Okay.
Goat milk. Yeah.
So it's while everyone else is talking, Buttons is going to just kind of be turning the bird, just like turning it over and over in her hand, seeing if she can find any kind of access panel or anything like that.
Right. Make another investigation check as you poke and prod it.
Eventually, I've got to roll well.
I mean, you can always use your inspiration.
Forgot I have an inspiration, but I rolled a 21 there.
21. You find under one of the wings it's not quite an access hatch, but it's a little cylinder, and as you're fiddling with it, it starts rotating, and there's a of a light greenish smoke. I need everyone within 5 feet to make a charisma saving throw.
Well,
23.
17.
3.
16.
15.
Bert, you get like a heady whiff of it, and you have a very calm and relaxed sensation.
Sorry, Bert.
Quick, gather some. You wanted to gather a sample.
Yes. Can I just like try to swoop a I don't know, a sample?
Vial or something.
Yeah.
Don't really have a means of collecting or containing a gas on you at the moment, I don't think. Unless
really
you have
don't.
something that I'm not remembering. But you do get a look inside of the cylinder, and you see what looks like 4 slivers of a greenish material kind of lining the inside of it before the cylinder closes back up.
Interesting. I will pass it along to everybody else. very curious device. Still very strange.
What were you trying to do, fiddling with it, though?
Well, I figured that might be some telltale inside of it, some sort of indication of who made it and why. If it has any other surprises, something to warn us before it uses them.
Zephyrina will take it back and put it on her shoulder. Given its current, what it's done, she thinks it might be useful for something in case we need to calm somebody down. she'll keep it up there. I don't think she's not thinking it's dangerous at this point. So.
Due to your height, Bert is no longer within 5 feet of it, and it seems to enter into a less active state.
Noted. So let's talk concert.
Ah, yes. I can take the. You said we'd have people pay in salt?
I mean,
Sure, why not?
I guess
I-
if they don't have anything but coins, they could use coins. So I don't think we need coins much.
The thing I think about is if we have it outside, then what is stopping people from just listening to it outside and not actually paying the entrance request?
That's a good point.
But if we have it inside, what if they're like, but we want to gamble, we don't care about the music? Then what do they do?
They gamble and not pay.
I just think you would need some kind of preparation, right? We would need them to know. Maybe we have a teaser concert tonight and we have another event like tomorrow. I know that's not ideal. We want to get
Okay.
the salt soon, but people need to prepare. I don't carry salt around. I don't even have a pound of salt.
Nor do I at the moment.
So we haven't
Well, we
heard.
can.
Nobody's heard any news about the ship coming
The
in,
ship,
right?
no. Does worry
I mean, it's
me.
still the same
Shouldn't.
day, so I got the impression that they just said like check back tomorrow. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's been a few rumors y'all have heard,
About weather.
like
Yeah.
about whether someone has mentioned like a large turtle-like creature. And there's been a mention of piracy, I do believe, especially around the Rovan area.
Did anyone any
Can I
good?
do a history check on
Rushing
the
off after it.
creature?
2 me at once, one at a time, please.
Can I do a history check on the turtle creature?
I think only Zephyrina knows about the turtle creature.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
mentioned
probably
it-
true. It was mentioned to me in the bathhouse.
Okay, I mentioned it to someone because it's checked off on my secrets and clues list, but
Yeah. Yeah, it was just today when I was at the bathhouse, so I guess nobody else would have, unless somebody else heard it from somebody else. But I heard it today, so that wouldn't have been disclosed yet, I guess.
all right, what were you saying, Meryl?
Just that doesn't seem like we would do any good by rushing off after the ship. We don't know what's going on with it or even where it really is right now. We're not going to rush out to sea.
Kala would agree with that.
Kala seems to be a
Honestly-
bit afraid of the water.
Buttons is probably saying it because of Kala's discussion earlier.
As y'all are having these shots and drinks and the meal, 2 of the Takin, the canine ones that I keep on forgetting the name of, and then using the wrong name,
Puppies.
leave the one that is wearing like the bone mask at the fire and head out. For the most part, the place is emptied out now. You do see Alina kind of head out the front door as well, with a small bag held between her hands that she got from Mira.
And should I go ahead and add the 2 sacks?
Sure. Yeah, Mira brings you 2 empty turnip sacks that smell of turnips, and there's some dirt in the bottom of them, but it should be fine.
Just for the heck of it, Buttons is going to next time the waitress whose name escapes me comes over.
There's Mira, the
Mira.
bartender who owns the place.
Right, but she's the one who's been bringing the
Yeah.
drinks. Next time Mira comes over, Buttons is going to. Just gonna. Pardon. Would it be entirely out of the ordinary for you to send a drink over to that masked individual on my behalf?
It
Seems like they could use it.
I guess. I won't know. They've been pretty. I don't know if tight-lipped is the right term for it, but they've been very taciturn, we'll say. They place the order, and then that's about all the talking they get. What would you like to send them?
Oh, one more of whatever they're drinking, please. I'll pay the
Water's free.
cost.
She kind of shrugs a little, gets a pitcher of water, and heads on over, talking to the canine Caliquine. Points over towards y'all, pours like the water in the dish that it's been drinking from, and then comes back.
Do you know them, Buttons?
No, I was just curious about their appearance. So
It is a really pretty mask. Everything's made out of bone, and Kala just buzzes over.
Like as you buzz over, he has the general form of a mastiff-ish, though more bulk across the shoulders and the ribs, giving it a very triangle shape to the body. It looks up at you, looks down at the bowl that was filled. Like you hear a voice in your head. I am appreciative.
Oh, that one wasn't me, but we were just admiring your mask, and I came over so I could ask about it. It looks really pretty.
I am Hassan of the Summer Wind. Pleasure to meet you. The mask is a gift from my father, who received it from his father before.
Oh, that's really cool. Is
I,
it like where people wear stuff to dress up fancy? I got a hat made today.
it's a personal affectation. It's not like I could wear jewelry or fancy hats as easily as others, so we wear what fits for us. That friend of yours could probably have told you that if he was more attentive to your curiosity.
Kala tips her hat off. Mine's actually a bit of a hard fit too. And she wiggles a couple vines and blooms a flower
Oh,
and giggles.
well, you ain't like any wilder folk I've ever seen.
Oh, they said I'm a fairy now.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, um, if you get bored sitting here and you want to talk, and feel free to say hi at the table. I don't want to interrupt you too long, because people say I just talk too long and hang around. Okay, I'm gonna go bye.
Goodbye.
well, so what did you talk about, Kala?
Oh, it's a really pretty mask. It's a family heirloom.
Ah, family. So Yes, that's something I
Yeah,
know a
we-
little bit about.
Can't really wear rings
Why not?
with my paw. You know.
And
You could wear it on a necklace or something, I suppose.
Well, yeah, but our selection of jewelry is somewhat limited.
Kala starts checking the paw to see if he can wear a ring.
I
The
mean, it
claw
would have
comes
to
out
be, yeah.
and comes back in.
Paws and rings don't really mix. Ah, you could have a bracelet, I suppose, if you feel like adornment. It's kind of
Vokeen. I keep on really needing to have written that down. I need to write that down on his character
how do you spell
information.
that?
V-O, comma, K-E-E-N.
K E.
Earlier, I got a red needle. What was that about?
You haven't investigated any.
Okay, can I investigate it? Now that since
mean-
everybody's attention is drawn to the
Yeah.
Vokeen.
Make a history check.
I mean, we're currently messing with your paw and talking about what jewelry to outfit you with, but sure. No one's paying attention.
That would be a 20,
Just 20?
21.
21, okay. The Crimson Needles are known to you as a, think hacker collective, but instead of hacking, it's more breaking into people's vaults and then redistributing among their group what they find there.
Okay.
This is the calling card they used before. You have had some interaction with them, particularly through a relative or two of yours who, let's say, are unofficial members.
Okay. So, is it like a sign of displeasure? Is it just a hey?
It's not a horse head in the bat. It's not a horse head in the bed or anything like that. It's more of a we are aware you are here.
Okay.
So how far did you have to travel to get here for salt?
It took me 3 days, and that's only because I hitched a ride. So, a long time. So, I've got a week to procure the salt and get back. So, assuming I have some type of transportation, that's another 3 days back. So, really, like about 4 days to get the salt.
I mean, there's also the
So.
porters. They may be able to make the trip faster.
It's true. They did mention they might have services to take it back. So. But it's got to get here first, or we have to be really successful in our concert to procure at least some of it.
guess-
Yeah, I don't know if it's realistic to assume that there would be 22. Wow.
200
Let me
pounds.
just make up numbers. 200 pounds of. There we go. There's a number consisting of twos and zeros. 200 pounds of salt, just, people just able to hand that over.
Well,
Depends on how many people we get to come to our concert.
Did they
Yeah,
have
the
like a pound here and there at some of the stores?
I did find one place that had 10 pounds available to purchase, and the other, it was at the bathhouse, and it was already kind of mixed with other things. And so I'm pretty sure it has to be pure salt. So I don't think that that's an option. But
Oh.
there's
I
places
guess-
here or there. And then she pulls out her little pouch that she got earlier. And then I have this, and she reaches in and and it's got salt in it. But apparently this is endless, but it just doesn't produce enough per day to get to where I need to be.
endless salt?
Oh, you should put that in one of
In-
the turnip bags. And Kala shakes it out and hands you the bag.
It can be any spice. Are any of you magical here that need components of spice? This could potentially give it to
Yeah,
you.
Bert hops up and down.
Well, I mean, like, it does it on your hand size?
Well, the bag is, yeah, the pouch sits in my hand. But yeah, I can just reach in up to, I was told, 5 times a day and pull out whatever spice I need.
How
That
many
could
times
be useful.
do you have left?
Well,
Isn't
me
it 2
personally,
or-
that's the first time I took any, like, drizzled anything out of it. So 4 more times today, apparently. But, I don't really know how it works or what it is exactly. I was just told by the proprietor at the Grumpy Bear that it's unlimited spices. Anybody here ever seen anything like this before? Or know what it is exactly?
No, but that could help you fix your problem. Here, put your jacket down real quick, and then we'll put the sacks by it in case you get a lot. Okay, no,
Well,
don't
you
put them
can't
on the
put
floor.
anything. You can't put anything in, though.
But we're still doing tests, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Can you can you
can-
multiply things?
Can you sit on the floor, and we'll put the sacks in your cloak and your coat by you to catch it.
To catch it.
So you're not sitting on the floor yet.
No. Why do I need to sit on the floor?
Okay, so my hand is this size, and then your hand is like it's twice as wide, and it goes out and over. So you'll have a lot more salt than me. So we can fix this. We just have to make your hand bigger.
And how are we making my hand bigger?
We do a test.
All right. I mean, out of curiosity, she finds this entertaining, so she'll sit down and do whatever Cal is telling her to do to see if this test works in some way or produces more.
So step 1, you put the pouch in your hand, the other hand.
Okay.
And
Pouch in
then
hand.
you make this hand the best cup you can for reaching in. And
Okay.
then enlarge or reduce. Sabrina.
Well, I can't make my hand bigger though.
But actually, you just changed size categories. You are now double sized.
All right, so describe how this spell manifests for you.
So it's like there's kind of like some sunlight on her. And then she kind of just grows like a plant would grow. So she's twice as wide, twice as long, twice as tall, sitting on the floor.
So you go up to. Oh, go ahead.
So now her hand is 4 times the size that, including height, when you pile salt, would give 8 times the volume salt.
Essentially, you have doubled in all dimensions. Your weight has increased by a factor of 8, and you have gone from medium to large.
So yeah, Zephyrina's 5'11" normally, so she like.
This
I don't know
may
how
have
tall
been a
these
better
roofs are.
idea outside.
Like there is a Mira's like, oh my, look up. Are you what? Excuse me. Are you okay?
You hear like
Like,
Zephyrina's
she's, like,
woo!
having to-
That's crazy.
Her head is like having to tilt at an angle due to the ceiling.
This is
Well,
very
that's
Alice
why-
in Wonderland right now.
Exactly. Call is a fairy tale theme. So,
Yeah.
that's why she had her sit down first. So that
Yeah.
when it doubles, she's sitting at standing height.
Yeah.
So, okay, now get your handfuls and put them in the sacks while your hand's bigger, and you should get 8 times as much.
I mean, we'll put salt in one of our turnip bags. She attempts
And
to
it
she'll attempt to do
technically
it.
increases the volume of the bag.
The bag.
It
It's just
increases
got
the
bag like
size of the bag.
the size of the bag.
How many charges are you expending?
I mean,
have
I
4
had
charges left.
4. I'll do all 4 just because curious how much we'll get out of it. So
You get about enough to season 4 dishes.
so that test fails then. It's the amount that you get out of it never changes.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Aw.
you get a handful of it. That's a very
Well,
interesting item.
From the angle
No
you
matter how
are,
big it is.
you can kind of see like Mira behind the bar top, like just looking up at you very like, I don't know what's happening here and I don't know if I need to do anything. But you can also see that she has a pair of rifles behind the bar.
Well,
Oh,
I
everything's
guess.
okay. We'll put it back. Kala, put it back.
Okay,
I mean,
Kala stops
she's not
concentrating.
grabbing them or anything like that, but you can clearly see
I
that
know.
there are weapons back there.
Yeah.
Kala stops concentrating, and there's like almost like a little withering effect that kind of like distorts as you shrink back, and you
Yeah.
are back Sabrina's size.
So, yeah.
That was weird.
I meant to ask about this before. Like, what would trying to rig up a desalination, like something to help out a little bit, like desalinating seawater, would that fall under alchemist supplies? Or is it just like
It would
not
be a
gonna work?
combination of things. You would need roughly 258 gallons of seawater
It's quite a bit.
to produce that much salt.
It's quite a bit.
The
and it'll probably
brewer's
take longer than
tools
we
would
have.
be
Brewer's tools would be your best bet for it.
acceptable.
I just don't know if we'd be able to get
Alas, I
the
don't have that.
materials and construction in time.
That as well.
If
Well,
only y'all were
I
talking
mean-
toward
I don't think we have the time.
I mean, if only there was like a dwarven brewery somewhere.
I was gonna say, I'm like, well, I think we have places. What was that place?
So I will be right back.
We had the fighting pit, the gambling place, the apothecary, the bathhouse,
Let's see
the
here.
general goods.
I mean, I can read you the list of locations. Y'all have been here long enough. Y'all can find everything out. Y'all have known most of
Yeah.
the locations, even if y'all haven't interacted.
I didn't
with
write
people
down
there.
the. Yeah,
So
I didn't
there's
write anything
the
down.
Sannon Institute Tower that's out in the middle of the bay. There's the Blue Steel Metalworks. There's Espelie's Silks and Fine Goods. The Grumpy Bear General Goods. The Healthstone Apothecary. The Feather Touch Bathhouse. The Victory Garden, which is the fighting pit. The gambling den is called the Emerald Chalice.
No pack.
There is a Bankers and Moneylenders Guild outpost. The Porters and Logisticians Guild has an outpost at the Harbor Masters. The Scribes and Messengers Guild has a single building location. There's the Poor Magpie Bar and the Queen's Cloud Tavern. And then there's like the other mishmash of the city, the Magistrate's Court, the Constable's Headquarters, the Saffron Seahorse Flophouse, Shrine Park, which is like a collection of small shrines to various spirits and small gods, the Wild Rose Park and the Queen's Fountain, which you had came by on your way in, and then there's just the Daily Market, which is literally just a market that pops up in the street.
So Zephyrina will walk up to Mira and sorry if we scared you there for a minute. It was just a test.
Yeah, it was like smiles. Like, I wasn't scared. Well, I was scared for you, my dear. I was not scared for myself. I mean, and there's nothing a dwarven woman can't handle with a little preparation and a little ingenuity. But no, I like. Did someone do some magic on you against your will or something? I've never seen anything like that before.
Not against my will. Not against my will. But I was wondering, do you brew your own beer here?
I mean, we have like a couple craft stuffs. Most of the heavier or larger stuff we get from the Sea Brewery.
The Sea Brewery. And where is that located?
The Sea Brewery is it's built into it's part of the Queen's Sea, and she kind of gestures to the picture of a regal-looking woman situated above the top in a silvery dress studded with like rubies around her neck. Her hair is strawberry blonde and tied back at the nape of her neck. She has a very youthful appearance to her. The Queen's Seat. The capital.
Queen's Seat?
Yes.
That's where the brewery is?
Yes, yes. The Port Glassbreaker has a brewery there. And they send me a couple barrels every few weeks just to make sure we don't run dry. But my clan is the Royal Brewers.
Wow, that's quite prestigious family to be a part of, I would think.
Oh.
My family makes mead.
Oh.
So I know my alcohol. Yeah.
Mead is lovely. Especially when it's well fermented and anyway. Did you need something made, or did you want like a custom vintage?
No, I was curious. Would you potentially have a way with like a contact where we could rent a still to brew seawater to make salts?
You'd fuck up the still, just to warn you.
Well, to buy a still then.
I mean, I got my still made for me by the metal workers.
Here in town?
Yeah, the blue steel. They're just up the way.
And how much would it cost to build one, do you think?
Depends on how quickly you need it, what you want it made out of, how big of it you want. I mean, hold on. And she goes over and opens the side door. You see, like, there is a little cot in the room back there with a dressing table, a chest of drawers, and a lockbox, and then a very large steel drum and brass fixture, still about maybe 6 feet tall, that has been set up in the back room. As I was like, sleep here sometimes when we're running Betsy, to make sure nothing blows. You got to be careful with some of these things. Anyway, that one, she cost me about 500 gold to get made, and it took them about a week.
Unfortunately, that would take too long for my purpose. We had to wait for it to be made.
If you're just looking to boil water, boil salt out of water, get like a couple big cook pots and put them over a fire.
Not really. Who in our group would know like how much salt could be done that way, if it could happen? I don't think I would know. Have you ever made your own salt before?
I mean, no, not really, but I mean, it's just, how it works is like you would get the go down to the sea, dip the pot or the cauldron or the kettle in, and then put it on fire until the water is gone, and then scrape the salt out.
Sounds plausible. If we brought you the water, is there somebody we could hire within your establishment to do that for us?
I mean, honestly, maybe have better luck with the blue steel. They got fire going pretty regularly, and hot enough to melt metal. Would be definitely hot enough to boil water pretty fast. So you'd have to be hauling however much water you would need up from the port to the end of town.
That's true. Well, you've given me some things to consider, and I appreciate that. And she'll pull out one of her bottles of blueberry mead that she has on her and offer to pour her a glass of her own family's vintage.
Thank you, my dear. And she kind of like gets a tumbler, kind of, and wipes the dust out of it to be filled.
All right, and she'll go ahead and top her off with a very healthy pour.
She
And
immediately
give-
just starts sipping it. That is excellently smooth.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse me,
You've
I'm
been a
going to
very big help.
savor. Oh, I like to help. I'm going to savor this. If you'll excuse me. She kind of like
Sure.
gets back behind the bar so she can just kind of relax and sip her drink.
Sounds good. And then, so Zephyrina will give her another wink and then head back to her table.
She smiles a little.
Yeah. And then she'll come back to the table and let everybody know, I might have a lead for getting the salt. There's the Sea Brewery down the way that potentially can boil seawater for us and make salt.
Wouldn't that mess
So
up the
we'll just have to-
distillery?
Sorry?
Wouldn't that mess up the distillery?
Do you mean like
Well-
the Blue Steel metal workers? Since the Sea Brewery
Yes, Blue
is at the
Still, that's what
capital?
it is.
Ah,
Okay.
Yeah, the brew still. Yeah, the metal worker folks. Well, it's been proposed maybe large cauldrons or something to just boil water so we don't mess up the still.
well, that could hold 200
And I imagine
gallons.
it
How
will take, I think Buttons knows how many gallons, right?
Can't you
What do
just
you
keep
mean?
adding water as you boil it?
Yes,
So you don't have to put 200 at once, right?
No, but
Correct.
you have to be able to make it flow into it.
I would think that we would boil it dry first and then remove the salt and then repeat the process.
Why couldn't you just
Right.
carry it to it?
carry what to it?
The water.
Well, the water does have to be carried or transported to whatever vessel we're using to boil the water. Yeah, so we
So
would
you
have
just-
to procure the water.
So you just use something that moves things heavy, like wagons, or like Button's bag, or like me levitating flower pots full of water, or just something like that.
Or a ship.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't the place she's going not on the water?
Yeah, but what if you're on a ship and you're already at the water?
But doesn't she want to go to the place to boil it?
Right, you have the place boiling the water, afloat on the water, that has enough buoyancy so that it could handle the water coming in.
But they're a place. Can you just move a place?
You could get a ship.
But they're
Well,
already
probably not in
going
time though.
on
Ships take a lot
water.
of time.
This is all very intriguing.
This does all become moot
Well-
if the ship arrives safely tomorrow, but
True.
seems. Well, sorry. You're going to talk?
No, it's just a backup plan, I think. But this is all like very serious talk. I think this is a good backup plan. We should probably drink some more and maybe start trying to figure out what we're going to do for music.
I play harp. Oh, you asked me. You asked me what I play. I can play drums, but I don't have drums. And I play the flute, but I borrowed a flute, but I gave the flute back, so I don't have a flute, but I have a harp. I have 2
A
harps.
harp.
So if anyone else needs a harp.
And Zephyrina will whip out her. She's got a schwarm. It's like a clarinet or an oboe. But it's wood, and she'll just start to kind of play a little tune. She's not trying to like create a concert, but she's trying to stimulate the good time at the table. Anybody else want
adding
to
heart.
join? Yes.
Spencer just kind of taps out the rhythm on his tan.
Do we have any like dinner patrons coming in at this point, or
You
like, how much
notice,
time?
like, you would think that you would start getting dock workers in this evening at around this time for dinner, but strangely enough, the tavern's still pretty empty.
Well, after
Yeah.
playing for a few minutes, maybe that would be curious and start to wonder if we need to go down to the dock.
Is it because we're playing that nobody's coming in?
That sounds
Surely
silly.
not.
I wouldn't think so, but it's just clearly what's happening. So
Bert's going to kind of jump up and go out of the tavern and see what's going on.
All right. The area seems strangely deserted as you head outside. The sun is setting, and the twinkling of the shattered diamond in the sky that where you have trouble making out during the day has started to catch the light of the moon, and the cool blue of the lunar light is caught and refracted by the uh, scattered material in the atmosphere, catching that and refracting it into a multitude of colorful hues that light the sky up with a canvas of auroras and shifting color patterns as the moon starts to rise.
Is that normal?
Yeah.
Okay. But where is everybody?
You are very short, and so you can't see very far into the distance when you are not very high up. So you look around the local area, which is mostly shops and stuff, and see that most of the shops are closing down for the evening, and there are very few people wandering around shopping, which is not too much of a surprise since, the places are closing.
I guess let's go check out the docks.
So Bert just starts wandering off to the docks.
Yeah, Bert just kind of got up and walked away. You'll notice that the little bird is gone.
Where'd it go?
It was right here. What the?
Did one of you take it? Anybody see where it went?
Maybe it got scared of being big.
Is Kettle still there?
Kettle is still there.
Familiar?
Kettle has been filled with Darjeeling tea, though.
Okay, Darjeeling is good. But so like, it's not somebody walking through stealing small objects or animals or anything like that.
You don't think so?
I mean, the woman, the proprietor of the bathhouse did say that she thinks it just kind of appears and disappears each day. So I guess it's not totally surprising, but I'm kind of disappointed. I like that thing. Maybe it'll come back.
Well, I still don't trust it. Twice it expelled some gas in our area, and it affected your mind.
It did?
I never felt scared.
But that did seem
That's
to have
not
a
what I
calming effect.
That's not what I said, though. Clearly, it was designed to be inconspicuous. It was hard to notice it, and then it all of a sudden is gone.
Bert, are you waiting for your friends, or are you heading for the docks?
I'm waiting for my friends, I guess, but if they're not going to show up, I'm just...
Well, I think that Zephyrina's like, well, maybe our playing isn't so great. Our own friends are leaving the table.
Oh.
Just kind of disappearing.
I'd like to move on as well, so let's. I'm gonna go try to see if I can find where Bert went.
Bert
the
is
place is dead, so.
Eric gives a wave as you head out.
Bye. Thank you so much.
See y'all in the
Gives
morning.
another another wink. Have a good night.
Here's hoping as she drains the last of her mead. Outside, you'll see the edge of heaven in the sky, the glittering curtain of nightly auroras. The sun is too bright for this to occur, but the moon, with its softer glow, catches in what is referred to as the shattered diamond sky, and reveals this cascade of colors. You see Bert kind of milling around outside waiting for y'all, and as y'all exit, he has a small blue bird sitting on his back as he is heading towards the docks.
Bert, did you take my bird? Why do you have this?
I don't know.
Bert, you realize you have a
You
small
could
blue
have
bird
just
on your
asked
back.
for it.
I mean, I could have. I wouldn't have, but I didn't take it.
Rude.
None of y'all remember seeing the bird move from Zephrina's shoulder or to Bert's harness.
Look, if I had taken it, it would be hidden.
I'm assuming y'all are walking and talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
As y'all head down the road
Sure.
towards the dock and kind of up the natural hillock that surrounds Glassbreaker Bay, you can look down and see the port stretching out before you. A number of porters standing around the harbor master's hut talking with who you assume from the distance is Jahan, because he is sitting in Jahan's space. Freshly moored at the farthest point on the dock, a large ship with a sail pulled to full, revealing on the front, embroidered on the front of it, a stylized rabbit with a crossbow. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call the game at 6 minutes early, because I want to cover this at the next session, which will be in, I think, 2 weeks by my count. We're missing next week due to Easter.
Yep.
Well, and we'll be, and the following week we are at a wedding
Oh,
in
fun!
South Padre.
South
And then
Padre is
I'm-
wonderful.
Yeah, and then I'm at another wedding the following week in Las Vegas for
Right.
a family
Ooh,
member.
Las Vegas is
So-
also wonderful.
But I would be
Yes.
available on the
But
30th.
but yeah, Mike will be available on that's the 1st, May
Okay.
1st.
Do you want to take 2 passes since we've got a lot of packing anyway?
Okay. Well, we'll try and stream some and watch our. Hey, here's an idea. Watch our official Twitter account at Bonus Roll on Twitter for announcements of what we're streaming and when we're going live, and that'll take care of that. I wanted to stop a little bit early to explain a change that I am doing to my end of game sessions. Previously, I had done it so that you award inspiration for calling out excellent roleplay. Instead, you are awarded inspiration for calling out excellent roleplay.
Okay.
And
So
so
I remember that I have inspiration, so I can use it.
you use your inspiration.
I did not use it.
Oh, you probably should
This
use
is
it. You
finally
rolled
a
a
good
lot of
roll.
fails.
Yes, because I forgot that I had any.
So, I don't really need the inspiration right now. I didn't have a good reason to use mine. I didn't really roll much today, but I would like to call out that Pretend Ginger with Zephrina had a lot of solo scenes today, which can be really fun, but can also be really stressful sometimes when you're the only one on camera frame. And she handled that really excellent.
Here, here.
Thanks.
I agree.
I do want to say just, I think it's just the energy you put into the character. Vincer is just always fun to see. Like,
Yes.
Vincer's always fun.
Yes.
Thank you. I didn't use my inspiration, so I can't.
Still
Really?
wanted to say it.
I appreciate that though. Like
Mhm.
I'm definitely trying to keep things whimsical and on in the arc. It is somewhat challenging when his worldview is very small. So yeah.
So I may have not explained it very well. Instead of awarding inspiration, you are now earning inspiration by calling out other people's stuff for good
Right.
roleplay and such. Sorry if I didn't make that. I do not trust my ability to cognizantly explain stuff right now.
I think you did. We're just all tired.
Yeah.
I am exhausted. All right, anyone else want to call anything out before we call it a day?
I like Kala just flying up to the Vulcan, just being like, "Hi, I like your mask.
Yeah.
Can we be friends?"
Yeah.
All right.
It's give me your hands if we be friends, and Kala shall restore our hands.
So, if that's going to
Apologies
be
to the
the end
bard.
of it, everyone gets 50 XP today for role playing.
Yay! Better than a kick in the teeth.
Well, you're not wrong, having gone through that. And I'm just going to go ahead and post that in the thing too to make sure it doesn't get forgotten or lost. I need to mark that on my budget. But hey, y'all encountered a pretty major plot point today. Your ship has finally come in. You think? Maybe? Who knows?
A ship,
Yeah.
Probing.
a ship that could have salt.
Yep. I've enjoyed a lot of this. I'm sorry if anyone feels like they did not get much time in the spotlight. I will do my best to make sure everything is kind of balanced better. I feel like I could have done a better job in a couple of that, so please forgive me. I hope you all had fun. I know I did.
Yeah. Good time.
A reminder to our viewers, we are going to be dark next week due to Easter. So the fact that we're not around, blame it on Easter. Dragonheart Dragon. Hold on, wait. I keep on clicking the...
Yeah. On that note, Happy Easter, Happy Passover, and if you're not Jewish or Christian, have a happy weekend next weekend.
Have a happy. I keep on meaning to click the emote button, and I instead keep on clicking the channel points button, which apparently I have infinite channel points. Who knew?
I mean, we need to have more things to do with our channel points, more custom emotes and things. I think after we finish all the character art, maybe we'll get some
Emojis?
special Briar Garden emotes.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put up the end screen. Meryl, say the line.
All right, folks, take care of yourselves out there. Take care of each other. And please always make like a polite werewolf. Like and subscribe.
Alright.